What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Fireside Yarns. 7, I do believe, of the second season. I'm your host, Reese, again. With me always, Davo, Vinno, Davo. How the fuck are you, Canadian club drinking motherfucker?
I'm good. I'm still on the Canadian clubs ever since these other Firesiders left half a fucking carton at my house. I've been into them, and now I just keep buying fridge packs of the little motherfuckers. They're nice.
They are a tasty beverage.
They've got me onto them.
They're the dries.
Yeah.
They're the zero sugar drives.
Oh, you're on the zero sugar.
I gotta look after me shape, you know, because no one else is.
And of always, I can't even talk tonight. That's pretty good for a podcast.
You have had a few beers, Savi.
I have had a couple of cheeky fucking VBs. Mr. Vinno, how the fuck are you?
I'm good, man. I'm still laid up at the moment with a bit of a
Sorry, bro.
back injury.
Sorry, bro. What were you up to?
just getting burped at. It's fucking. Yeah, no, going all good, man. I'm still on the painkillers and that on the back, but it's getting. I hope it's getting there.
Yeah,
gave me a bit more trouble during the week.
The old fucking hillbilly heroin, eh?
Oh yeah.
You're living the dream, mate.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
Probably not.
Oh, I'd rather.
I mean, half the dream.
Yeah, I mean, anyone that's fucking got back issues. This is the first one that I've had that's been a major one, or not a major one, but like has stopped me from being able to do normal everyday things. It's sort of
Not good.
don't realise. Yeah, well, even today, the little bloke was wanting me to pick him up, and I just couldn't. And even that was sort of a realisation that holy fuck, I got to get this sorted. I don't want this to be an ongoing thing. So
yeah, that's not good.
I'm lucky
it's
enough.
Like
that
everyone always say, well, you know, a lot of people say you only get one back, mate.
that's it, man. That's it. Not
fuck
been
it for anyone.
up until
And
now.
ironically,
I sort of
you don't get it back.
No.
You know?
Hey.
I'm on the fire side.
But yeah, like, up until now, I sort of haven't had too much of an appreciation for, you know, back pain. I know plenty of people that have got issues, and yeah, now I can sort of relate to what some of the things they say.
It's all encompassing, right? I mean, like I had a back problem for a while, but even like looking up, you forget like little things, like when you go to reach for something, when you go to stand up, or the weight that's on your back. Even when you're sitting down, it's hard to sit in a certain position.
Yep.
Like, so it's and of course there's like 1,000 different things that could be wrong with your fucking back, and they're all shit.
Everything's uncomfortable about having a sore back, man. Everything.
So
sitting, sleeping.
Just
working.
a heads up, we might end up having a few extra breaks tonight, just so that I can get up and
Stretch
move.
the old back out.
Yeah, I'll just get up and move. Yeah. So
yeah.
Anyway,
sure, you've stretched a few backs out in your day, mate.
Hey,
Hey.
baby got back, right?
fuck.
But
you can tell Reese's
Sing
had a
out,
fucking
boy.
few years.
Nah,
The open booty.
I never drink.
Yeah. I wish I could say.
Hey,
that.
look, I think I've been pretty good the last few years. I have been very reserved. You know what? I've drank more since we started doing this podcast than I have in the last 2 years.
I think we all have. I think we all have.
I mean, you can't have a yarn without a beer, can you?
Well, at no stage did we say this is mandatory that we have to have a drink in our hand to do this. It's
kind of the way it is, but I think there's only been one podcast I haven't drank on so far.
That was the other week
There's
when you were
definitely
drinking.
some habits forming, boys.
That was the one we did with Steve, because we did it in the morning to make up for his nighttime.
Oh yeah, I drank that one.
Because he's on the other. Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
you and Steve are the only ones. I think Dave, you and I was sober.
Yeah, I remember. It was bright fucking out. That's right.
It was the morning. It's fine. But here we are on the.
Yeah, but I'd only just walked in the door from work that morning too. So anyway,
Yeah, fucking oath.
to answer your
I
question,
mean-
in all other things, Reese, I'm good, man. I'm cruising along and
That's good to know.
fucking back with the boys having a chat again. Love it.
You know, we didn't recognise one of the biggest larrikins passing away the other week, Warney. Yeah, that's a bit
Man.
that's a bit epic.
That was a bit of a shock, wasn't it?
I mean, I'm sure there's probably plenty of people that thought he should be aborted, but
What?
Oh my God.
No bite.
Fuck.
I did. Oh yeah. Look, I don't watch cricket, so I haven't got like an attachment to Warney as like oh fuck, he's a good spin bowler, and like you know, it all looks silly to me.
Well, he was.
Yeah, no, I agree. I've heard, but I love him because he's just a fucking typical
lord.
He's a laddie, crazy dude who just did his thing, you know.
Yeah, he's just a
and
lord.
Ultimately, Liz Hurley.
Yeah, he did Liz Hurley's.
Obsession for me from when I seen him from Austin Powers came out. So good on him, man. He lived it, you know, and he died how he lived in Thailand. You know?
Probably in like an orgy of 8 million.
Oh, look, there's plenty of speculation around it, and he was. Look, he was. You can't deny that he was good at his craft, and you've got to, whether you love him or hate him, you've got to respect the fact that he was himself throughout his whole
still
career.
smoking,
No
I
matter
definitely
what.
would have had a durry for him.
Yeah.
But you know, like he did him, and that was it. You know, whether
He did probably other people too.
he probably did plenty of other people. Yeah. Liz Hurley, one of them. I'll tell you, someone who was probably devastated by that, and J-Rock. Remember, he was like just loved Liz Hurley. He would
No,
have been.
you're thinking of Sandra Bullock.
I am too. There you go. Got it wrong.
Also,
Like
fine.
Sandra Bullock's
Yeah.
nice. Sandra Bullock's
But
really
what-
like she's fine.
Yeah.
But she's not Elizabeth Hurley level sexiness. Elizabeth Hurley's like a sultry sexiness. Sandra Bullock's like, oh, she's funny as fuck and I would marry that woman. But Liz Hurley's like dangerous eyes, you know, like that
What was
Erica Badu eyes.
What was that movie she played with Brendan Fraser?
She gets me a bit
When she was
Bedazzled.
Bedazzled. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Reese.
Yeah, you took that away from me, but that's fine.
You did.
I'll
Well,
let it slide.
yeah. You're getting better now, the abortion Shane Ward joking.
Yeah, I was just trying to get a bit of a bite, you know.
Right, there was nothing. We were both just
I
sitting
got,
here.
you
I
just
left
make
it
me
for
look
Vinno.
like an idiot. That's what
I left it
happens.
for Vinno.
I left it for
voice.
Dave.
It was just, this is what it was.
Now, where's the wah, wah, wah? Yeah.
Sorry, ladies and
The
gentlemen.
sad trumpet. Yeah, Warney, we got Razor Ramon passed away as well. Who was Scott Hall, great famous intercontinental champion in wrestling. Yeah.
Fucking hell.
You guys, I know you're not really that into wrestling, but
No.
I
was
mean,
the
I
shit. He
am,
was-
but I just
he
haven't
sta-
followed it like you, I don't
he
think.
started the NWO. Did you ever hear of NWO
Yes,
wrestling?
yep, New
he
World.
was one of the founding members of that. With Kevin Nash and with Kevin Nash, then Hulk Hogan came along and they made it bigger, I should say. But he's part of that Click crew, who also Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels. He's part of their crew, and then they went on to make DX as well. Like, he's just a great mind of the sport, and yeah.
Another
sucks,
legend
but
gone.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the shit thing about getting old, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's two of the bad guys. Because like Razor Ramon was all about being the bad guy.
Yeah.
And Warney was the bad boy of cricket, right?
Yeah, man.
Like, yeah, so
Yeah, he definitely had that image, and I don't think he ever, like...
I don't when I say bad boy, he was
Yeah.
just a party animal, you know what I mean? He wasn't
He was him, yeah. You weren't going to change
But partying's bad, David.
Yeah.
Like
But what
fuck.
Razor Ramon was bad, he would literally double cross Shawn Michaels, so yeah.
If I had $1 for every time I've been scrutinised for being a party animal, I wouldn't have to work anymore.
You just have to keep partying though, right? That steady flow of dollars in.
Yep. I know. What a horrible life that would be.
Oh, wouldn't
Yeah.
it?
It's a short life. It's Christopher Hitchens says it's like you're burning the candle at both ends, but it gives off a fucking beautiful light.
Yeah.
Well, also, let's be honest, a short life's a good life. You know,
Yeah.
well,
More
In
more
my
abortion
opinion.
jokes from Reese.
yeah. I mean, hey, if my life had ended before it started, fucking win. Yeah.
Fuck.
There
That's
definitely
the
would be a lot
fucking-
less problems in your life.
There would be, no problems. I'd be chilling, bro. I'd be chilling. Yeah.
That's one of the benefits of never existing.
Exactly. I didn't ask for this. But here I
And
am.
if you did, that'd be weird, right?
But we're all about positivity on Fireside. Yeah.
Of course we are.
Hey everybody, welcome to Fireside.
You know.
But I tell you what, since the last time we spoke, I did something that you've asked me to go and do. I went and watched the Batman.
Yes,
So,
finally.
Finally.
We can talk about it now.
We can.
Spoiler alert!
Yes.
Do you listen to Reese, motherfuckers?
Yeah.
Said it's spoiler
If
alert.
you don't want to hear about the Batman, fuck off now.
Get the fuck
Okay,
out.
Vinno,
Yeah, actually, yeah, just fucking...
hold up.
Hang on.
Have you got the just get the fuck out bit?
No, basically this is what I'm going to say.
Yeah,
We're about to talk about the Batman, and
If you don't like it, you can get the fuck out.
that's all I'm going to say.
fuck yeah.
So,
You can get the beep. Remember, you can beep the fuck out. You can beep the fuck out.
you can get the
Fuck.
You can get that beep out. Count.
What can we do, Vinno?
Oh, you can get the fuck out.
Yeah.
If you haven't heard it enough. But yeah, we're going to...
No, I didn't think we were going to get
Kick
to
it
this
off,
quick,
kick it
but that's
off, boys.
okay. So, yeah, the Batman. We did a quick recap on it without trying to spoil anything for you last week before.
Wait for you.
Everyone here's seen it now. I'm sure most people that are somewhat Batman fans have probably already seen it as well, if not twice.
Huge box. I've seen it twice. Huge box office. So a lot of people have seen it. It's the second most viewed movie after Spider-Man.
Yeah,
I think since 2019 or something like that. Or at least it had that
Huge.
opening weekend anyway. And the second weekend it only went down by I think 40%, whereas Spider-Man went down by 70%. So it's got staying power, it's got word of mouth, and it's going along. I think a lot of people are apprehended. I mean, it's confusing, right? How many Batmans is there? There's Ben Affleck. I'm seeing Michael Keaton's going to be Batman, and fucking now Keanu Reeves is going to be Batman in the cartoon. And what's this Twilight guy is going to be Batman? I don't even know where it is.
When I told
You know
the
what I
old
mean?
man
There's
that
so many
I'd been to see it, he went, "What, another one?" Like that was his reaction. So that it's exactly
There is a
what
lot
he's
of
saying.
Batman movies. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
But as long as they're good, you can make as many as you fucking want. I don't
Yeah.
care.
He's like James Bond, though. I think he's transitioned past just comic book person to where it's like, well, we need who's going to be the next Batman.
I mean, that's a
he's
whole
also
other
funny as
that's
the
a whole
Joker's
other
the same,
conversation in itself. Old fucking James Bond, isn't it?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
James Bond. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Did they cast the new James Bond yet? Is it?
I don't know.
What's his Superman yet? Is it Henry Cavill?
oh man,
What are
he's
they
so
talking?
good in The Witcher. Fuck,
I haven't
is The
seen-
Witcher.
yeah.
man.
I haven't watched The Witcher, but I do like Henry Cavill.
Oh,
He's
bro,
great.
have
Apparently-
either of you watched The Witcher?
He's
I
done.
don't like the look at it. I've watched a couple of things of it, and it's kind of
Right.
got me.
Nah,
the
watch it.
production of it's got me a bit.
Watch it.
And I didn't. Did you play the games?
Yes.
I haven't played the game.
I didn't
no.
play the games. I got
You don't need. It doesn't matter. It's still awesome.
yeah.
Just watch it.
He's done really well on that though, hasn't he? Like he's been
Oh,
Yeah,
bro,
because
he
he's a
kills
super
it.
fan. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he kills it.
he's Gerald, isn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's Gerald.
Geralt. Well, Geralt,
Yeah, I know. I'm fucking
Geralt's fucking-
You only had to look at the smile on his face. And
yeah, he was baiting.
he was stirring that
I love
shit.
I love saying that to like nerds of stuff. Like you just purposely get stuff wrong. They're like,
Gerald.
no, it's Gerald.
Geralt.
yeah, well, yeah, you know. Case and point.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, thank you.
Gerald.
But yeah, great Superman. I'd say, you know, I'd watch him.
Yeah, he's come
But-
like he's
Yeah.
in some pretty big roles, isn't he? So I wouldn't be surprised, if he did. I didn't actually hear that he was. They were talking
I know
about
he
him
was
in
in,
007.
he was in the line to be James Bond.
Okay.
Even back when Daniel Craig was going to be James Bond.
Yeah,
so
righto.
back that far. But he was too. I think they said he was too young for it, and then ultimately went on to become.
Completely off subject, but who's your favorite James Bond?
I was just about to ask that.
Now I'm not a huge fan of James Bond because he's a bit pretentious and stuff like that. But I like the action of
If
it
you had
all.
that much money, you'd probably be pretentious too.
It's been Irish people don't get the allure of
Yeah.
suave English dudes. You know what I mean?
I'm going to say
Well,
mine.
there's a couple of car bombs will sort out Jimmy Bond. Okay, let's be honest. Boom.
Yeah, I
Okay.
love that. I love that.
Nah, but I did. No, I do like it.
Another
But if I
person
could
that probably
pick-
should have been aborted.
yeah. Oh, exactly. But Pierce Brosnan, not
Yeah.
because he's Irish.
Yeah, look, GoldenEye was definitely up there with my favorite James Bond.
Yeah. Well, the game helped
Yeah.
a bit as
Yeah,
well.
fuck
Yeah.
It was massive.
But also Sean Connery.
Sean Connery is probably the coolest, I think, to play James Bond.
See, I liked-
He's the first James Bond as well. He's number one.
I liked Roger Moore over Sean Connery. And,
Really?
And see,
I'm not a big Roger fan, but yeah.
Yeah, no, he
He's
just
seen
had a
some good ones,
different demeanour about him that I liked. Plus, I'd seen him in a few other movies after his James Bond days, I suppose.
Cape
Oh,
Fear.
Roger.
Yeah, so yeah, but Roger Moore.
cool.
But then, yeah, my second would probably be Pierce Brosnan, and then followed by Sean
Pierce.
Connery.
Remember that bitch that like killed people having sex with them?
Don't we all, mate? Nah, but here, do you know how he got the role for? So he actually auditioned for the role, and they're like, oh,
Pierce
fuck this
Brosnan?
guy. No, Sean Connery. So when they were
Roger.
originally doing it, and so Sean Connery, apparently they heard he did the audition, and they're like, no one can fucking is gonna understand this motherfucker, and they sent him out. And then one of the casting agents says, "Who the fuck's that?" And he'd left and gone in the hallway, and he walked up to some woman to talk to her, and they're like, "He moves like a panther." That's the literal words they said. Like the way he moves was like a panther, like and he was like suave as fuck. And they're like, "All right, that's the dude we want for James Bond." Yeah,
He moves like a
right.
panther.
that's what they said. They said he moved like a panther, and it was just because it was after
Is
the
this stuff
audition.
legal?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Was
pretty
it?
wild.
Worked 70 cents at the time, all of the time.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Works all
but
the
Daniel
time.
Craig was good too. I actually probably
Yeah, see, I
I
saw.
appreciate Daniel Craig more because the realism he brought to it, and the fact that he wasn't just another normal
Yeah.
Bond. You know what I mean? He
He
kind of
was-
looked like he had a couple of fights. Like
Yeah.
his face looked a bit like.
He was an angrier Bond, wasn't he? Like he was a very serious character.
Look, to be honest, I haven't watched a lot of James Bond of the new recent ones, so
Yeah.
it's probably not the conversation for me to be having.
Well, you
Even
asked
though
the
I brought
question.
it up.
moved.
You asked the
But it
question.
did kind of move
Yeah.
away from James Bond and became very much like the Bourne movies with the
Yeah.
hand-to-hand combat and stuff. But here, look, we can move it back to Batman if you want.
Yeah.
Well, we could move to the Bourne.
I'm not a
series,
huge
which is also
fucking
great.
Bond fan anyway. But yeah, Batman, what you think, guys? Robert Pattinson.
Man, it was.
Oh, what did you say? Sorry.
No, it's fine.
What did you say though?
It's all good.
I'm not speaking until I know what you said.
I said
Cut
all
this
we
shit.
could move it to the Bourne series because that's good too.
We could do that, but I only really like the first Bond. The Identity. And then it got Supremacy, Ultimatum, and fucking Tomato.
See, I'm
Who's the new?
I'm torn
new
between
guy
the Bourne
plays him now,
series.
isn't he?
Yeah, because they've moved away from Matt Damon and that. But I liked the Bourne movies. I hated aspects of them though, but I can understand why they had that. Like the fight scenes, where it's very close and they're very. For me, I find they're hard to watch, and I understand what they're doing there. They're trying to give off the illusion that it's all
You're
the
there.
techniques. Yeah,
Is
yeah.
it the quick cameras and stuff.
Quick
as well?
cameras, very close, fast moving. You know, and like I said, I understand the technique that they're trying to portray there, but there was a lot of them by the end of the series, and it just got a bit old, in my opinion. But moving on,
I'm not a big fan. Like I could have done it without it. Never have been born.
are you going for a record of how many puns you can pull off in one night?
Hey, please
Big
keep
pun.
going because I love.
Look, I love
Yeah.
puns. He's just on fire.
I do. I really do. It's like my favorite thing.
Puns are good.
Look, at the time they were, like I said, they were good movies, but there was, for me, that there's not a lot of, I'll say, rewatchability. Like you can watch them once, sort of thing, but then to go back and watch them again, I don't think that's there. Whereas Batman, on the other hand,
Yeah,
like
back to what we were going to say.
You could watch that straight away in a week.
you could watch it multiple times in a day. I think.
Well,
'cause-
yeah, I mean,
you guys spoke about it and didn't give off plot points but talked it up.
yeah, actually,
a
yeah.
little bit.
Now that you've seen it and after hearing us speak to it, how did you think we went with not giving anything away?
Honestly, and I mean this in the most respectful way, you just didn't do it justice in the way you talked it up because of how good it was.
Yes.
You
yeah.
can't talk because we couldn't go. Oh, the score was
I know.
this and give, and you know what I mean. You couldn't
But
go
when you
into
when you
everything,
did get excited and you were talking, I'm like, they've got high expectations for this. And when I went and watched that, like I went in there with high expectations, I suppose, and I still came out just fucking blown away. Like,
yes,
it was something else.
Also, just one more time in case you are still here and didn't believe me the first time. Spoilers. because now we're going to get into it.
We are.
So if you don't want to know about it, fuck off.
Batman dies.
This is the last Batman because that motherfucker is dead.
Yeah. Nah, look, everybody that's seen it knows we were joking. And then everybody that didn't just got fucking angry and turned it off. And
Yeah, good.
it sucks shit.
We didn't fucking want you here anyway. We got 69 subscribers. We don't want any more.
That's right, yeah.
We're at the
I think we
perfect
need
level.
669. I think.
Yeah.
No, because if
Or-
you go into 600, you need 666. 69's fine. It's nice.
Yeah.
We don't want
Okay,
any
we'll
more.
go six. I'll tell you what,
Unsubscribe.
everybody, we'll go 666.
Unsubscribe.
Do not subscribe. Do not fucking push your noti bell. Fuck off. We've got enough.
Don't even like it. Yeah. Don't even like it.
It's nice
But yeah,
the way
Robert
it is.
Pattinson.
Yes.
Guys,
Killed it. He killed
How
it.
did Edward Cullen do? He did good, didn't he? He fucking killed it, man.
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
And that was, I suppose, what I took in there with you guys talking about the character he was playing, like that depressed side, and something interesting around that. Because Rin hadn't been involved in that conversation, I hadn't spoken to her about it. Afterwards, we were talking about, the movie, and I said, "So, what did you think of Robert? Did you think that he did a good job?" And she went, "Oh, he played like a really depressed teenager type," and I went, "That's
Perfect.
what he was trying to portray." I said, "If he's obviously, if you've picked up on that and you're thinking that, then he's done his job."
Yeah.
And I said it's funny because you boys said the same thing, that he's portraying that lost, depressed.
I lost my parents. I'm not just a fucking rich playboy.
Yeah, and an early stage too. So
Well, we've only ever gotten a glimpse of that type of Batman. Like in Michael Keaton's Batman, he's grown up and he's Batman. Val Kilmer, same thing. Clooney, same thing. But when Bale did it, all right, and
You got a bit of both.
You only got a shred of it in Batman Begins.
Yeah.
Because right before he goes off to join the League of Shadows and fucking or League of Assassins, whichever fucking comic book you're reading, he is that, he has that long hair just like Pattinson. He is mopey and he tries to kill Carmine Falcone with his gun. Remember, and he ends up getting kicked out of the club and all, and he goes off. And he's moping around and he's telling Alfred fucking this and that and Rachel Dawes all this shit. So he always is like that. But then you see him come back to Gotham after his League of Shadows thing, and a different man, and he's already has his Bruce Wayne persona. And they kind of skip over it a little bit, but in this it's like, no, I'm a fucking damaged motherfucker. I hate the world. I hate society. I'm obsessed with being Batman because Batman is the real Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
So he has. I don't think he's developed that. I think he doesn't want to be around anyone else because all he's focused on is the Gotham Project, which I thought was awesome. The way that's what he's doing. He's in his second year of the Gotham Project.
And the thing that I was going to say, I remember I said to you in the episode 2 weeks ago, when I said there was something that you said in weeks back that when it happened in the movie,
predictions.
it made me think of you. Now that you've seen it, it was when the Riddler's talking about the fact that he could be himself, and the mask gave him the power to actually be himself, which is exactly what you said about, like, you think Batman is the real Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, I think
So,
Bruce
like,
Wayne is his
It was
mask.
so it was so relatable, and I was like, "Fuck, man!" Like,
but they call it
Dave
out.
literally
There is
said
a line
this.
in that movie.
Yeah,
That's what he's saying.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
saying,
yeah, that's
sorry,
what I'm saying. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I said that because I was trying to, out of all the trailers, I was trying to kind of find out what it was going to be like, and everyone was talking about it going to be like Seven, and it very much was. But I was talking about, I wonder what kind of Batman he's going to be, and the Riddler ended up kind of pointing it out amongst themselves.
Yeah.
About, why would we even take the masks off? We both know, like.
Yeah.
This is the real man.
And he was like, "Oh, if you could have seen me in mine." I love that, man. I love here. Look, I reckon. Let's talk about the intro. All right.
Yeah.
Ave Maria. The Riddler's looking through, and he's zoning in on the former mayor or the incumbent mayor of Gotham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That to me, unbelievable. Like his eyes, you can see him like that. Like the eye acting in this movie from Pattinson and the Riddler is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
But but the noise he makes when he lunges at him, down to when he's sitting on top of him and it's quiet, and the camera, he kind of puts his hand down to his zipper, and then the camera kind of comes up, and it's only when he raises his hand do you see the thing. So I think they were kind of making it like, well, they kind of suggested, but kind of, yeah.
He alludes to that when he's talking about his weakness and not being a strong man, and you see that in that opening scene when he does tackle the mayor, and you can see he just fumbles to the ground, like it's sort of giving off the perception that these are his early days, and he's inexperienced in this. And then like you said, when he's sitting on his back and the heavy breathing starts, and I think that
you can hear the mask.
That in itself is more disorientating than the actual scene or knowing what he's about to do. It's just that heavy breathing, he's enjoying this shit. Like, he did a fantastic job.
The way they designed him, man. Yeah. That was so Zodiac, right?
It was, yeah.
It was the fucking, with the glasses on the outside of the hood. But they made it a bit greeny Riddler and stuff like that. Yeah. But unreal, man.
He's fucking insane, though.
Oi.
Absolutely.
Well, he's insane, but he's an insane genius because if you look at it, first of all, he's inspired by Batman. I love that because it's Batman's fault that all these guys are going, look at that guy. He's dressing up the way he wants. And he's having and that's the Riddler said, with a little bit of controlled violence.
That's right.
You can get your vengeance.
Yeah.
So and that's through the whole movie. That's his lesson learned in another way.
Yeah, it's like the big turning point when it's like his moment of realization.
Well, it's when that guy that he's just beat the fuck out of on the scaffolding says, "I'm vengeance," and you just see him.
Was that the guy that he beat the shit out of at the start?
I wasn't sure, and I want to go back. Or is it the guy? I want to go back and watch it again because I thought that, but then
I think it's not him. I think it's the guy from the church. Do you remember the guy in the church who we had a quick talk to and said fucking Bruce Wayne or that rich guys?
Oh yeah, yep.
And then he kind of disappears at the back, and Bruce kind of looks at him a bit, and I think the whole idea is like all disillusioned people can be picked up by that kind of the Riddler.
Yep.
And like they might easy to follow along with. And,
but you see that,
but again, the Riddler made him do everything he did.
Yeah, but like you see that moment of realization when that guy says, I am vengeance, because he says that early at the start, and that's what you were referring to in that opening scene. You can sort of get see, and then the following scenes from that where he's helping people. It's like, okay, he's a moment of growth for him as a character, which is where I'd be keen for a sequel. To see where that's going to go now because of those final scenes and the important things that have been addressed in that.
Because what I think they were getting on with that is because Batman at the start is someone that all these petty thugs are scared of.
Yeah.
People doing graffiti are scared of. Dudes doing shop things, they're all scared of. And I love how they do that, how everyone sees the light and they're scared of every shadow. It's great. But by the end
it's like
of it,
the fear, the sign is the fear. Like it's, although he can't be everywhere, everyone's still cautious.
But it's petty criminals.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's small and the locals don't love him and the petty criminals are scared of him. Whereas I think because he's going for vengeance, right? But I think by the end of it, he realizes that he has to be a sign for hope. And him going around bashing people with this type of trying to basically kill the people he thinks might have killed his parents, which he originally thought might have been just someone in an alley, the crime of Gotham, the type of place it is.
Yeah.
But he realizes, no, Gotham, this is how I can make a difference by not being an example for the people like the Riddler. And maybe going after those higher targets, okay? Instead of the petty criminals. However, I think this is going to be a problem for the second one, but I know how they're going to do it, and they're going to do it through the DA, because the DA is dead. Harvey Dent will come in, and then Batman, like he did in The Dark Knight, will want to help the DA because that's the right way to put criminals away. And then obviously. And that's what I think, but it'll be too Dark Knight if they do it that way.
It's funny that you said that, though, because
Harvey Dent.
That scene at the church with the mayor-elect where she's talking to Bruce Wayne, but essentially
Bella Royale.
Yeah, talking to Batman and Bruce Wayne, saying that you could be doing more for the city. And I think that resonated a lot as well, if you can pick up on that. And that's why I want to go back and watch it a second time, without overthinking it.
Maybe we could have a mandate, because I need to watch it.
I'd do it. But you're right. I think you're right. Because I think at one hand he's like, I'm not giving you fucking money. All you politicians are corrupt. And I think Batman needed to see that she was going to do the right thing and stand by Gotham and all that stuff. And then and she didn't like Batman either. No one really is they're all scared of Batman. Yep. But when Batman has that beacon and he's leading them all out, she wouldn't take his hand at first. No. And then he turned to the kid. Yeah. And then the kid came up and then she put it. So I think that was a sign of, okay, we can trust each other. Yeah. And then he was the light through the darkness instead of
that kid was powerful from the start, wasn't it? Yeah. Like that's very early on with the mayor's son, where he stops and he's looking at him, and once again resonates. So he's a very you can see a very early Batman, very emotional one. That's not
definitely
that's very self-indulgent.
Save himself.
Yeah.
Batman's even that's what Robin is. Yeah. Robin was just Bruce trying to, because he's seen this kid whose parents were killed in front of him.
Yeah.
And he sees that, and he doesn't want to let, because he knows what happens when you're not a rich billionaire and you go through the orphan system. You know what I mean? And you know, you can argue it's child abuse taking this kid and bringing him out in the night and in his underpants to fight. But look, we're getting off on track here. There's no Robin. But yeah, the mayor's son.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I suppose it's, you can argue that it's a privileged kid that's lost his parent, and that's how he can resonate. But I suppose you look at that with what the Riddler was saying about, Bruce Wayne becoming an orphan, and the difference there in classism, and refers strongly to that. And that's, I suppose, begs the question, if it wasn't the mayor's son, it was another one, would he have resonated or connected with him, that boy, as much?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think.
Did you comes up later though with the Riddler's statement and what he's saying? I don't know about you guys, but I sort of went, well, yeah, he connected with that kid, but was it because he could see himself very much in that very same position, or was it because he's a kid who has lost a parent?
Did you feel like I don't know, maybe it was just something I did, but when he first started figuring out what the Riddler was trying to let out to the public, did you feel like the Riddler was going to expose that he knew that Bruce Wayne was the Batman?
They were pretending that even in the trailers, they were kind of gearing you up in the trailers of the movie to be like, oh my God, Batman knows Bruce Wayne, because they'd have I know who you are, who you really are. Yeah. But that's what he meant, who you really are. Is corrupt. The Wayne family, and
but like the way they portrayed it was like he's going to get exposed and the whole world's going to know that Bruce Wayne's the Batman.
Well, you think
right up until the interrogation.
100%.
And
Bruce Wayne.
Yeah,
it's fucking so good, man.
You see him look at the camera and shit, and then when he realizes that he doesn't know that. Yeah, that I am Bruce Wayne.
I love Pattinson's eyes in that as well, because when soon as Riddler goes, he was the only one we didn't get, Pattinson stops caring about the
camera and
the camera, because he's Batman. He's thinking, what do I do? He's got me on the camera. I'm on this. And,
well,
and
even
he's
his
prepared
statement
for it to be the end of the Batman.
His line there when he's in the apartment, when he's looking at the board of evidence, like the Riddler's board,
and he's talking to Gordon.
Yeah, and he says to Gordon, this might be the end for Batman or whatever. And then he's in that. And that was from that moment I thought, oh, yeah, okay, he's going to expose him. He knows who he is and he's going to expose him. And this is what that website
I was expecting him, and I was like, holy fuck, how can they do this in the first one of an apparent trilogy?
Yeah. Like, and then a twist and you're like, okay,
but because it's a standalone movie outside of DCEU,
they could do
they
it.
Can get away with that. Because people think, I don't know if they're making 2 or 3, just like Joker, it's not part of the thing, so they're not. They could have killed Batman, and then, because there's lots of Batman comics where Batman dies and someone else takes up the mantle and
right,
all this shit. So you never know what they're gonna do. But just to go back to that point you made, Vinno, about not, when the Riddler was trying to point it out to Batman that you're not really an orphan. You couldn't understand me.
Yeah.
Okay, what it's like to be an orphan. See, that's true. because you have Batman couldn't understand why Catwoman would steal, or why Catwoman would want to work in a job or to, you know, even steal from mobsters or work and be around Falcone and all. He couldn't understand it until he's like, yeah, rich boy, guess what? There's people, and so he realizes, okay, I didn't understand that. But I think that the Riddler might have figured out that was Batman was Bruce Wayne if he could look past that, because I think Batman does know what it's like to be an orphan, and obviously he's hurt and damaged. He's fucking Batman now. You know what I mean? So the Riddler underestimated that he could understand what it was like to be an orphan. But I do also think he was right about Batman and being classist, because they pointed out with Catwoman, he said, yeah, you know, I mean, she doesn't know he's Bruce Wayne, of course. But you can be a sad billionaire orphan, and you can be a like, you know, obviously your situation's worse when you're in an orphanage. Yeah. But it's still, he had no one except for Alfred. Yeah. You know what I mean? He had no one, and you can see now he's a depressed motherfucker. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, no one's going to be happy about their parents being murdered, are they?
Yeah, you're a kid and it happened in front of you.
Yeah, fuck
you know what I mean? Like, that's
unless you didn't want to be born in the first place.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Maybe.
You wished that his dad had just had a Batman.
That's right. Exactly. Bro, big pun. Thank you. Thank you. That's one of your best. Just say it.
Now look.
Yeah.
We were segueing to Alfred a bit there, and about him only having Alfred. God, I'm going to get goosebumps. Okay. Alfred, what we never knew about Alfred, and we kind of figured out here.
Just quickly before you get into that.
Oh, go on.
Before you get into that, Andy Serkis as Alfred, what did you think?
I thought he was great. He obviously doesn't have a huge role in it.
Yep.
I think
it's actually pretty minimal, eh?
But I think he did well. Why I think it was powerful, they kind of set up, because just like an emo kid, him and Alfred are clashing a bit.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? They're not right. But then when obviously Bruce is like, I thought I'd conquered everything, but then I realised I do have something that I still love, and I nearly lost it, and I'm always trying to not feel like that again. I never want to feel like someone can take that love away from me again. Yep. And they have their lovely handheld thing. But the thing go on.
No, actually, no, don't. It's all right. You finish. I'll wait.
He was just cutting you off.
What I'm going to say, what's beautiful about what you hear about Alfred, when he's talking to the nurse and they're like, who's his next of kin? Who's he got? And he's like, it's just me. So we're always talking about all Bruce he had was Alfred, but all Alfie had was Bruce. Yeah. You know, and I just think that connects them even more. He's just this old British SAS dude who can fight, teaching all I knew how to teach him was to fight.
They're both what?
Just confused.
That's what he gets for opening someone else's mail.
It did say for Batman only.
It did.
It did.
But however, I do think for Bruce Wayne only. Sorry, that would have blew me mind if it was for Batman only. There was a different letter for Batman. There was a letter for Batman in Fireproof one.
Yeah.
But for the Bruce Wayne one, he didn't open the Batman one. In fairness, but I'd say Pattinson says, Alfred, you have carte blanche, you open my mail. I'm Bruce Wayne, I don't want all these fan bitches. You know what I mean? Even being an emo recluse, you're going to have them chicks. You know what I mean? You're going to have them dudes. You're going to have everybody, charities, all them motherfuckers. So I'd say Alfred's like fucking alright. But he didn't open the Batman one. You got to give him that.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't really the real Bruce. Did he?
Well, he did. He had it first in his hand, and he's like, fireproof. And then he put it away, yeah. And then he went Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. Do you think that was
what?
Do you think that was almost metaphorical for Alfred's relationship with Bruce Wayne?
Straight fire.
Because everything's deep.
That he took
everything's deep.
Well, that he took the hit for Bruce Wayne.
Oh, and I love the trick they played on us where we think it's in real time when that's happening.
Yes, that was awesome.
We think it's Batman's like,
but it's too late. It's done.
And then he's like, oh, thank God I got through to you. Tell Alfred. He's like, oh, but it's already happened, Mr.
Yeah, that was a shock.
Dobby's a free elf now.
Yeah, it was a bit. Well, she was a bit Dobby-ish.
She was
like that. Give him a sock.
But that's a sad scene when Dobby dies, man. Another spoiler. Fuck you.
Haven't seen it. Spoiler for Harry Potter, everybody.
Have you really not seen it?
I only watched a couple. I've been an adult for most of the time Harry Potter's been coming out, Reese.
Bro, I'm going to lie to you. I only watched Harry Potter in full for the first time last year.
I can't do it.
Can't
Couldn't
do it.
I was because the
I
books
resented
were
Harry
big.
Potter as a teenager when the books come out, and was
I was
like,
too old.
we tried. Well, I think it was like, it was in English. We had to watch one of the Harry Potters. I think.
The first one.
God.
Yeah, and I
Because
was
it
like,
came
this is-
out. It
I
came
was like,
out
this
in
is
the
fucking
90s.
garbage.
Philosopher's
I've got
Stone.
no interest
Yeah.
in this. And then and my sister frothed the books, man. Like read
It gets
them
dark
flat
as
out.
fuck.
It is, man.
Man.
It's
But,
Goblet
man,
of Fire and Prisoner of Azkaban. They were the last two I watched, and they were pretty good. I like the fake Mad Eye Moody one. Was that Goblet of Fire or Azkaban?
yeah, the fake. Yeah, that was Goblet of Fire.
Yeah.
Because I stopped
yeah,
reading.
yeah.
So I read up until.
Because Azkaban,
Goblet
he's
of
in
Fire.
Azkaban, the real Mad Eye Moody. Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Because no, the Prisoner of Azkaban. He's not.
Is that before it?
It's about his
That's
dad.
before. Yeah, that's
Or,
about.
sorry,
no,
uncle,
he's.
uncle.
Yeah,
Are
he's
you
uncle.
serious?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sirius Black.
He's
I
fucking
didn't
on
say the
fire.
other one.
He's
I
on
didn't
fire.
say the second
No,
word
he's
because I'm
just-
Caucasian.
But that was dark
Dead
in
black.
itself, man. Like
Serious African American.
I remember reading that and going, "Holy fuck, this is heavy!" Like, and yeah, but I think I stopped.
I haven't read the
reading
book, see. I want to now. Because
Yeah.
it actually is really good. You should watch it, Dave.
I'll give it a shot. When Maisie's got to grow up, maybe she'll be like, watch this with me dad. And I'm like,
it. Well, see, there's going to be a new movie coming out soon too, so that might
Really?
fire it all up again. Yeah, they're going.
well,
back.
there's the prequels, right?
yeah.
That's the second of the prequels.
Oh.
Which one are you talking about?
That's the one where Dumbledore's a young bloke and
Oh no, that's the same universe. That's Amazing Beast. There's,
yeah, that's the prequel movie.
yeah, no, but then they're doing one where Harry's son, Harry and like
The
their
Hendersons.
their kids are going to Hogwarts. I don't know when that comes out.
All right.
Yeah,
Shit.
so that might.
And
flare
is
it all up
J.K.
again.
Rowling doing it, and all the cast is coming back, and 'cause they're all fighting with each other.
Yeah, because of her anti-trans.
Yeah, she got
Position.
a lot of heat for that, eh?
I don't even know what she said. I didn't take notice of it.
Let's not get into the J.K. Rowling drama.
No,
Oh,
I
All I'm
don't
going
know
to say
anything about
is...
it, to be honest.
it had fired up well before I heard.
You're not a
about it,
man
so-
till you've had a man. It's that simple.
Look at this cunt.
That's the law here at Fireside. And you're not welcome unless
You're
you've
not a
had
man till you've had
Yeah.
a man. And I've had many men. Many men.
Mini man.
Many men.
Have you had your shit pushed in, man?
Shit, man.
What's that in again?
Training
Training
day.
day.
Training day. When they're at the Mexican's house. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Mexican. Good movie.
Here you go. Oh, man.
But yeah,
Training Day's a great movie.
what are we?
Yeah.
Where were we?
Back to
Yeah,
Batman.
we got
Talking
really
about Alfred.
sidetracked
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
talking from Batman to Harry Potter to
Mini
getting our
man.
shit pushed in, and
How did it get from Batman to Harry again? Well, you know what?
How did it
Robert
get from
Pattinson,
Batman to
Cedric
getting
Diggory?
butt sex?
Cedric Diggory. Fucking Batman's in
Yeah,
Harry
yeah.
Potter.
He is.
Batman and butt sex.
Yeah.
That's all. That's everyone. Wait, that is all every man needs. Batman and butt sex.
Well, don't they? The British call
That's all
bums
my missus
batties,
needs.
don't they?
What's that?
Yeah, you
The
would
British
too.
call bums batties.
Batty boys. Yeah. As
Yeah.
as was taught
I
to
would-
us by Ali G.
Get into some fucking pussy.
The word is
Some
butty
butt
boy.
pussy.
We all got beautiful bussies over there, right, boys?
Yeah, a bit of butt pussy.
That's some wet ass
Hey,
pussy.
That's
Wabs.
a wabs.
That should be the name of our new podcast.
Webs.
Wow, we should get rid of Fireside Yarns.
Wet ass pussy.
Wet ass pussies.
Wait,
Grab a bucket and a mop.
clearly Vinno wants some of these though.
These nubby nuts.
These what, mate?
These nuts.
These
These into
nuts.
the nuts.
I'm
I can
into
hear
that.
that shit. Yeah.
Oh. We got a bit peckish.
Wait, for once it's you and not me.
But oi,
You are a hungry motherfucker, eh?
Hey, you're making me want nuts. Fuck.
Go and grab some nuts. Come and grab a set of D's nuts.
These nuts.
These
oi.
nuts.
I mean,
did
I'm on-
you think it was cool that he wore the fucking eyeshadow for once?
Yeah,
yeah,
so
actually.
Batman.
it took me,
'Cause
it
they
took
always
me a
they
hot
never
minute.
He
show you that.
really pulled the emo thing off.
Yeah. But it
But
took
you
me a
have
hot
to do
second
that,
to work out what... Like when he's standing there at the computer, when you first see Alfred, and you see him as in his Bruce Wayne form, and he's standing there with the eyes. I was like, what the fuck? And then it clicked, and I was like, oh, okay, because
looks
it's a
junky
different
as fuck,
mask.
eh?
It's so true though.
Yeah, but
because every other Batman has that, but they like even Michael Keaton in Batman Returns.
Always take it off.
He has it. Well, he actually there's a cut scene that's pretty bad. That it cuts back to him when he's got no makeup and then he takes his mask off.
Oh, get fucked.
It's usually me giving her D's nuts. She told me to shut up.
Shut up, Reese. Yeah, but so I didn't
These
take
ones will
notice.
be less salty.
I didn't take too much notice.
I
when
give
he had
her
the
nuts
suit.
and I take him away.
When he's having that fight, I didn't take too much notice of the bat suit. So that, I suppose, it leads us into that. It took me a little bit to get used to that with the wide cut mouth, as opposed to what we've seen.
Do you reckon like the headpiece looked weird?
By the end of it,
loved
no, I liked it. Yeah, but to start with,
I
it was
like it.
it was
I'm not saying I don't
difficult.
like it, I'm
Even
just
like
saying
the-
it looked weird.
To
It's
start
different
with,
than the way they have. It's not the molded rubber
yeah,
anymore. It was more like leather. It actually was more like the Adam West Batman cowl
yeah,
with the sewing stitches and all that kind of stuff.
yeah, very early, very basic sort of setup. But I suppose
You have more suits as it comes along.
I also kind of like
absolutely.
that Catwoman had just had kind of like the belly. Like,
yeah, with
Well,
ears.
she's not Catwoman yet. That's what she's saying. So she's going to come back from Bloodhaven as Catwoman. But I love that realistic, the balaclava.
Yeah.
Kinda, and Zoe Kravitz, what a great Catwoman.
Yeah, fuck yeah, man.
what a woman.
Really just getting
And all the crap. Have you seen, well, maybe you don't get into all the fucking internet drama comment sections as me, but all the complaining about Black Catwoman.
half the
and then you
time.
have to
Half
go
the
back
time,
and
the
tell
people
them.
that are in there trolling in those fucking sections is you, David, with your multiple.
I'm ready for them.
Hey,
But
let's be honest. If you got a problem with the black Catwoman,
Get the fuck out.
Thank you.
but
Absolutely.
also it's like even if you're one of those people that hates people changing people's characters' races and stuff. Catwoman was in the comics black. One of her original in 1966 Batman Eartha Kitt was black.
Halle
You know what I
Berry.
mean? There's many Catwoman. Well, she's a bad example.
fuck what colour she is. Stop.
Yeah. But do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's heaps of black Catwomen, and it's comic accurate and live action. It's just people they just want something to moan about. But I think she was good. And again, I think we were
If you
talking about
can't-
it, Reese. Beautiful.
But if you can't appreciate like the character and the acting and actually take the movie for what it is, and that's the only thing that you've got to focus on, then yeah, get the fuck out, because it's,
She was awesome.
you know, it's a pretty good movie if that's the only thing you can moan about is the color of someone's skin who's portraying the character. You know,
I'd say a lot of that comes from people that haven't watched it, but they're trying to get onto that narrative. There's just people that love the outrage mob. It's on all sides. You know what I mean? It's on all sides of politics. Yeah.
yeah, and it comes back to that argument where you've got I suppose you'd call them super fans, and you saw that when we're talking about Star Wars, you know, with those prequels when they came out. And you got those super fans that don't want anything to move away from what their perception of the canon material is. And you see a lot of those arguments stem from that, I suppose. And like I said, Star
People
Wars...
just love what they love, right?
Yeah,
I think,
right.
and then when something comes along, they hate because this is still either made for kids or not for your generation, or it's been made by someone else, so it's different. It's just not got that nostalgia for you anymore, too. I think, like if someone tried to remake
Power
Master of
Rangers.
Puppets, you know what I mean? It might be like, oh yeah, I appreciate that, but and then someone else made Master of Puppets.
Have you
and
not
then
heard?
someone else made
what's
it?
the
You
name
know,
of that fucking band? Hammerhead. You heard Hammerhead?
No.
It's like Metallica reincarnated, but
Yeah,
they're a
right.
bunch of like young children. They're sick,
Yep.
but you know, it's like it's already been done. But it's impressive because it's like a bunch of fucking
Kids.
yeah, they're literally kids, man. Like I don't
Yeah.
even know if they're full blown teenagers yet.
Yeah, right.
They're sick. Like
Yeah.
they're
well, at
fucking
least they're
awesome.
trying to sound like Metallica.
Yeah,
know what I mean?
like, but old Metallica, not new Metallica. Like this, like
Listen to this snob.
Yeah.
It's OG. Oh, for
So,
studio.
is this where we should put in a snippet of like what Hammerhead sounds like right now? I don't know, maybe.
Oh, we still haven't worked out
52 minutes.
what we can do as far as...
Fuck it, let's just
I
do
don't
it
think
anyway. It
they're
only
gonna
means we're not
copy
going to
us.
get paid. Who cares?
No, that was the last one. I don't know what our next warning's going to be.
No. It just means we're not going to get paid.
Well, we're not getting paid anyway. So, yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Here's a
Thank you.
I'll tell you what. This is what we'll do. Because I need to get up and stretch, and maybe pop another couple of painkillers. So we'll have a quick break, and we'll leave it.
Take heaps of drugs and drink heaps of booze.
Man, I'm already feeling like I'm on fucking cloud 9 at the moment. So.
Fuck. Can I come to your house?
Oh. Anyway, what we'll do is we'll have a quick break.
No, I don't think we will, because you're not the host. Fuck you. We're going to keep talking about Batman.
Go for it.
No, I'm joking. All right. We'll go for
I'm going to get up and go anyway. I don't give
So, welcome back. Men who have had men. Just had a mouthful of nuts. Now I'm going to have a swig of the very best.
This cunt.
When I previously left for a little pee break. Previously
Not
discussing...
in the future. Not when he left in the future.
Exactly. Previously discussing the Batman. So... We were. I can't really remember.
Well, look, we haven't talked about the Penguin. We haven't talked about Colin Farrell as the Penguin yet.
We haven't even got to the villains yet, have we? Like,
No.
we
Really.
spoke about the Riddler, but
Because we haven't talked about Batman. We haven't really talked about Gordon. We haven't really talked about Carmine Falcone. We haven't talked about the little Easter egg cameo. We have, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Joker,
Look, to be honest, as I said to you
spoiler
the other
now.
week, right, I didn't realise it was even Colin Farrell until I saw the credits.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
was,
have known until you guys sort of mentioned that Colin Farrell was in it.
Yeah.
When
like
I
you can't
I
pick his
loved it.
voice, nothing. Like
I thought he did a really good
I've
job.
always wanted that for the Penguin. I've always thought, like, my old pick, remember James Gandolfini who played Tony Soprano?
Yep.
I thought he would have been the best fucking Penguin because he's like, he looks like the Penguin.
Yep.
And he's like fucking, he's ugly and angry and fucking, and a real mafia boss. And, or someone who's came up through the mafia ranks. And I just thought he played it great as Falcone's right-hand man, the Penguin. I thought, and he looked, like you said, guys, you don't know that's Colin Farrell. Doesn't sound like Colin Farrell.
And they're big shoes to fill in regards to the fact that the last time the Penguin was shown in a live action,
Flippers.
was Danny DeVito.
the hottest man alive.
Ironically, small shoes to fill.
But was it? It was.
But
Batman Returns.
iconic,
Yeah,
iconic as the Penguin.
He was.
And he was the last. I think he was the last live action Penguin. If you don't count like Gotham and stuff like that.
Live
He was
action.
live action in studio. Real
Totally.
people. And even then, he's not even Colin Farrell. How about all them poor ugly actors out there that like, oh, the Penguin's getting cast. Fuck yeah. They're like, Colin Farrell. Fucking hell.
Penguin's
They're
my
gonna have
kind of
Brad
role.
Pitt. Yeah. You'd be a great Penguin.
Yeah, thank you.
I could be. I've got the beak and everything already.
But anyone can be now. Anyone can, even someone as conventionally attractive as me could be Penguin now. Because Colin Farrell has laid the ground.
Hey, and do you know what? Speaking of, oi, listen to it, eh?
He's fucking pulled my back out again.
Wait, but would that be? Oi, speaking
Careful, I
of,
don't blow the back out of you.
Oh, don't threaten me with a good time.
cheers to Colin.
Oh yeah.
Hang on, let me limp my fingers. Cheers to Dave.
That's what she
Jesus,
said.
That's what she said. Ah! That was good. That was so good. you were the cunt hair in front of me. You were. I'll give you that.
So good. Glad we're on the same plane.
Season 2, we're getting way too comfortable. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But
are we
talking
though?
about Colin Farrell Penguin. He was funny. He was fucking funny. He had he was a good part of the backstory there, and I like that he was that villain that Batman talked to. Like Batman in the comics and in the animated series, and even like in other iterations, he has to go talk to other villains to kind of figure out what's going on in Gotham. So I like that he kind of made that relationship with Penguin. But yeah, great stuff. I love that in the end he was kind of.
I like the way they
in
set
one of
him
those
up.
last scenes.
Yeah, they set him up for prequel. sequel.
He's going to have his TV show.
Yeah.
The Penguin's going to have an HBO TV show.
Yeah.
So it's I reckon it'll be post Gotham, unless because it's Colin Farrell and the makeup, they can do a prequel of how he became the Penguin and got the scars and stuff, or they might use that time in between it to be like post Flood, and now it's like him assuming that role of the fucking Kingpin. Now there's probably loads of people. It's a power vacuum, right? So what happens in, you have to assert your dominance, and we kind of got to see his funny side, his charming side, like sweetheart. Yeah. And then we also got to see his psycho fucking fucking, you know, like he's a fucking scary fucking mob dude. Yeah, man. Until he, you know, got the shit scared out of him by the Batmobile. Which we could probably, if you want to talk about the Batmobile.
It's my favourite Batmobile.
We'll get to that. I love the intro. Too. But it'd be interesting if they do use that as a, like that is a bit of a backstory for him, plus a lead into the sequel for the movie, because it could explain a lot of the story that's there. And that's one of the things that I've liked about this movie as well. They didn't waste a shitload of time explaining how Batman got there, or, you know, how he's learned to fight. They alluded to it with his explanation from Alfred, saying, you know, I taught you to fight, and that, because, you know, one of the opening scenes, he beats the fuck out of a group of people. You're like, okay, so he's been doing this for maybe 2 years, which he alludes to in the intro, or in the interlude, and then he, you know, you sort of go, well, how the fuck did you learn that? In previous Batmans, you know, there hasn't been that. Christian Bale, you understand that he learns that from Ra's al Ghul and the League of Shadows. Whereas this one,
he was that was really the only Batman that showed you where he learned his skills, right? Because Michael Keaton never showed you. The animated series never showed you. Kilmer and Clooney were obviously just extensions from that.
Yeah, but they were, like, as we spoke about before, they were the older Batmen, right? So Christian Bale and Robert Pattinson are the earlier ones. You see them from the earlier days. So I think it's assumed that with those other previous Batman movies, you know, they've learned those skills over time. Whereas this one, it's, you know, 2 years in, and he can fight like a motherfucker, you know.
But he's 2 years in as Batman.
Yes, he is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I wonder if he's been training and how he's been training. I think all that.
That question, doesn't
the second episode, I think they can open it up to more stuff.
Fuck yeah, they can.
Like,
but I like that question
because it's year 2. Yeah.
I like the fact that they've left that open to your interpretation and your own imagination. That hasn't answered all the questions for you. You've sort of, if you haven't seen Christian Bale's series, and this was the first Batman that you've watched, there would be a lot of questions, absolutely. And that and if you feeds your hunger to go on.
Out.
If you haven't seen the Dark Knight trilogy and even the other Batman movies,
look, you might just be only young, and you've only just been allowed to watch Batman. So.
But
even if you are young,
get the fuck out.
He was in early days of Batman. He was making mistakes. He stalled the fucking Batmobile. His wingsuit, you know, the squirrel suit, he didn't land that landing. In all of his fights, he's taking hits.
Yeah, he is.
Even with those kids in the subways, he's taking hits. He's taking shots. You know, so he'll have to obviously change his bat suit to whatever is going on. He'll have to. We're gonna make a note here.
It's definitely fucking. It's definitely bulletproof.
Adrenaline.
Yeah, he definitely cops some bullets.
He definitely got the Kevlar, but he no one shoots him in the jaw. No one's willing to jaw Batman.
Maybe it's like his Achilles. Maybe he's got a glass jaw.
Pattinson talked about it. He said that, like, is obviously his suit is bulletproof. He says, but what makes Batman scary as fuck is like the way he keeps kind of charging and coming at you. When he takes those hits, and that's his drive. That's Batman's drive.
Yeah. Well, if you feel invincible, you're going to act it, aren't you?
That's right. And who knows what other shit he's injecting himself in. That adrenaline, guys, it could be the pretext to Bane. So, in the comics, there's in some of the comics, all right, Batman, that's how Bane becomes Bane. Batman is experimenting with literally steroids. That he's like, I need to be stronger to fight the crime, and he gets addicted to this stuff, this steroid that he's had made or whatever, and it ends up getting into the hands of Bane, and obviously he super takes it and becomes this dude.
Yeah,
But I'm
isn't that
wondering
like the whole thing in like Batman and Robin as well? When like poison
Yeah, well,
ivy
that-
creates Bane. Like,
Yep.
Well, she got it from some weird venom from
from
the plants or oh no, they were making super soldiers.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But yeah, so it'll be interesting to see if that's how they lean into it that way, because obviously they went for the ultra realistic Bane, sort of in the Dark Knight Rises, where he was
Tom
just
Hardy
a muscly
killed that
dude.
too, by the way.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, he did.
And they made it about his mask instead of about. But it'd be interesting to see if they could do a Mexican wrestler. They could do fucking Batista. Batista'd be a great Bane because he's a Hispanic dude. He knows how to wrestle. He could do the wrestling background as a thing. The problem is Bane's got to be big and small if you're going to go that Bane. There's a million ways they could do it, and I don't see them
with
doing
Captain
it that
America.
way.
Look what they like the CGI in Captain America with, what's his name?
No, I don't think I will.
I don't
But-
think I will.
you know, with Winter Soldier, where they. Oh no, it wasn't. It was the first Captain America movie.
It's the OG. That's how he becomes Captain America.
yeah, and early on
Rogers
in
or
the
whatever.
movie-
Steve Rogers.
Yeah, Steve Rogers. Yeah. Well, that's not the actor.
Yeah, he's Chris Pine. No, not Chris Pine. Chris.
I know it's Chris
Evans.
something. Chris Evans. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I should know that. Yeah, but you know, they were able to pull that off. In that
I know they
where-
can pull it off, but they want to make it real. Like this
Yes.
Batman, everything's kind of grounded. For instance, the Riddler is not like Jim Carrey's Riddler. He's fucking serious, dude.
Yep.
Like, you know what I mean? Like
he's
could
not
happen
comical.
in a way.
Thank
Yeah,
fuck.
Not at all.
Because I don't know how.
I think
like,
they did a great way. Yeah.
me and Hannah talk about this a lot, and it's like, and I think because we've recently, which I said the other week, we've recently rewatched all the Star Wars in chronological order.
Yep.
And I like the newer Star Wars. I don't think they compare to any of the older ones, even the first three
Prequels.
episodes.
Yep.
Because I hate, and Hannah feels the same, I hate when you're watching a movie that should be somewhat serious when they put in stupid one-liners.
Yeah.
It fucking does my head in, man. Like,
OG Star Wars had that.
it did,
that.
but it wasn't as
Han
cringy.
Solo-
Do you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah,
they
I
weren't
guess.
trying as hard. Like,
But it's not as serious either.
Exactly.
You have to agree. The old Star Wars weren't as fucking like end of the world as the new Star Wars.
Yeah.
Even in the prequels.
Well,
But
they
the
weren't
new
as-
Star
not
Wars
even
are, like,
just Star Wars though, but like
apocalyptic.
I just hate it when they put stupid comical one-liners and shit. Like
I
when
get
it's
you.
not needed.
Are you
like,
referring to? Hang on, which series are you referring to?
the newest
episode
ones?
So do you-
7, 8, 9.
So
Or
do you
8,
think
9,
that's
10,
that's a
whatever it is.
Disney thing?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
No, it's not a Disney thing.
Oh, look, when I
Because the
say-
But not
when
even. But
when
like
I
I
say
mean,
a
like
Disney thing, I'm talking about, you know, you watch those Disney Channel.
there's plenty of
shows
other
and-
movies that do it too.
There
but
is,
I just-
there is, yeah.
I
But
hate it
when I
when it's
refer
just
to it as a
like-
Disney thing, it's probably labeling it unfairly, but I see that sort of
Because DC
cheesy.
did it in the new
They do,
Batman
yeah.
and Avengers and all that kind of
Exactly.
stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Even though
But cheesy,
Avengers
yeah,
are-
cheesy
It
comedy.
has to be subtle. That's what was great about the Batman. It had funny lines, but they were subtle, and they were
Yeah.
between Batman and Gordon and all.
They
like,
won't try hard.
Nah, they weren't. It was tasteful, and it was
Exactly.
within. It was like it felt like that could have been like something that was half funny at the time said, instead of like, you know, someone just died and there's one dickhead in the background ready to go, you know, like ready to fucking or you're about to die and someone's, you know, I know what you mean, like
cheesy comedy that's just
It's
not
just
funny.
unnecessary.
But it's a lot of it to do with is that as well. Is that we're getting older? Because you go back to the Phantom Menace, that those prequels didn't have a lot of comedy in them at all. But
That was good.
Was fuck yeah. But New Hope didn't have. You had Han Solo, but I think then in Empire and Return of the Jedi, Han Solo was a lot more funnier, right?
Yeah,
He was cracking the one-liners, but it was his thing.
that's right.
You know what I mean?
That's
He
his
was
It
that
character.
wasn't
character,
everyone
yeah.
gets to be funny. Everyone's funny. Everyone gets
he
a
was that
one-liner.
slight comic relief. Yeah, and I suppose you can argue this, that in those earlier, I mean, Phantom Menace, you could say that to some people
Fucking Jar Jar Binks
that they thought he was a cock.
is a
but he was that comic relief to a point, you know, where
he was worse than anything in the new movies.
he was,
Easily.
but he was that comic relief. However, like Reese is saying,
Rookies.
You know, that comic relief in the last 3, it's cheesy. But
it's that they tried to make, not everyone's funny, guys.
that's right.
No, that's
You know
right.
what I mean? And Han Solo's fucking funny, and that's part of him being a scallywag and a rogue, and he does bad things, but you kind of like him because he's doing it with a funny little twinkle in his eye. But everyone can't have that fucking line, you know what I mean?
That's right.
You can't. Luke's not funny.
No.
Leia's not funny, you know what I mean? Darth Vader's not funny. Like, everyone's not funny, but Han can be funny, and Chewie can be funny because they're buds, you know?
Yeah.
Like, but
You've got to have that
everyone's
character.
funny, yeah.
I feel that you've got to have that character there that has the opportunity and takes it when there is comic relief needed, but not all the time. And like
That's
you were
right.
saying, not every character. You know, like
It seems so forced.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean by when I refer to
Pun
Disney. Well, fuck. It was very subtle, forced.
But they're trying to make a trailer. It's like they're trying to
Exactly.
make every scene that funny bit in the trailer at the end.
Yeah.
And that's
You know
what
what I
I
mean? Like
refer
it's-
to
well, it
when
just
I
happened
say
to
it's
them.
Disney. I'm referring to the Disney Channel and their style of sitcom, which is, to me, some of it is good, but a lot of it does seem forced, and a lot of it is just very.
For kids, though. Right?
Sorry,
It's for kids, though.
it is. It
Disney.
is absolutely.
those
It's
Disney
set for.
sitcoms.
Do you say fuck kids?
Oh, that's what I
agree.
thought I heard.
It's for kids.
Yeah.
See, the interpretation here.
No, I think it was a glitch in the system, in the
it-
matrix. But a lot of like some
Hear
of
what you
it,
wanna hear.
some of it feels forced, and it's just you look at it and go, yeah, look, okay. I can see for some people that might be funny, but it's not, and that's when I refer to Disney comedy. That's what I mean, without labeling all of Disney.
Because Disney's some of the most serious kids shit you can get.
So
People
that's-
die
man.
in Disney fucking shit.
Fucking Lion King,
You know?
Mufasa,
Oh.
that scarred motherfuckers. Fuck.
But Mufasa
another
didn't crack
pun?
jokes.
No, he
Oh,
didn't.
did he? Could Mufasa crack a joke?
Oh, it was an internal joke.
Oh, he did. He was kind of like, no one messes with your dad. No, he doesn't. He was kind of just bigging himself up,
Yeah,
wasn't
he
he?
was.
And then he got messed with.
Yeah,
Whatever.
He got
Mufasa
fucking-
thought he could out-cool Scar.
he got King it, didn't he?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fucking.
Oh, did you see that? Did you see that thing about? Did you see in The Lion King? You know when they come into Scar after he's killed Mufasa and he's picking at the bones of a dead tiger.
The
dead
skull,
lion?
the skull.
That's fucking that's fucking
heavy,
Mufasa.
isn't it?
He ate Mufasa.
And so you've read that whole theory.
You can
around
see
that.
it.
Yeah.
Who's he eating? Who's he eating?
Well, it's typical of lions, and their nature that they will eat. Yeah, they That's-
And he would have had sex with Simba's mom and all them. Yeah.
yeah, fucking heavy. I read that and I was like, yeah, look, I was already angry enough at the fact that Mufasa died. I don't need to read this shit, but I'd already read it. So.
The king takes what's his
Long
I
live
mean-
the king.
forcefully.
But
Well-
yeah. Anyway, getting back to
Who
Batman.
do we talk about?
Wait, I love that we get sidetracked. This is just a full-blown spoiler. This whole
Okay.
episode. Doesn't
Man,
matter what we're
Hey, look, if you
we're
haven't
spoiling
seen-
everything.
Reese, if you haven't seen The
Everyone's
Lion
getting
King by
spoiled.
this stage, you can get the fuck
Oh,
out.
if you haven't seen The Lion
fuck
King
out.
by now, then you deserve to have it spoiled, right?
Yeah, fuck you. If you
92? Does that come out? 1992?
If you haven't seen
and
The
Darth
Lion King,
Vader is fucking Luke
Yeah.
Skywalker's dad, everybody.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, and we
Take
spoke
that.
about this in the movie episode too, because it depends on how you watch it. You don't know.
That's right. Now, what did you think? Because you're now watching it
Or
in
finish it,
chronological.
yeah.
all right, Reese, hang on, just before
And was that the first time?
before we do that, sorry, Dave. Now
Right.
that you've watched that, go back and watch. It's on. Have you got Disney Plus? You would
Yeah.
do if you've watched it. Go and watch the animated series Clone Wars.
Yeah, I want to.
Go back and do that, man, and then watch
then Rebels, right?
Rebels, yeah. So there's Clone Wars and there's a Clone Wars movie. Then watch Rebels because that fills in so many gaps, man.
Yeah.
The animation
I'm
is
excited
too shift. I can't watch it. It feels like it's like early 2000s game animation or something. But
It gets
Rebels
better.
is a heap better.
Yeah, it gets
Rebels is heaps
better.
better.
The story's there.
But yeah, favorite
I'm
character.
keen for
Well,
that.
I'm going back
did
through and
you see
watching
the
it.
trailer for Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Oh Man.
Yeah, so it's the spot. So it's Ewan McGregor's in it. He's Obi-Wan Kenobi, and it's the spot between episode 3 and episode 4.
Yep. No, so this is, and I'm referring back to the
James
he's on the Jameson, fucking good too. And I'm referring to the Clone Wars animated series and Rebels. It's even between that, because obviously you've got the Clone Wars in between the episodes.
The Clone Wars and Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah. Yep.
And then Rebels is between episode 3 and 4 as well, isn't it? Because Darth Maul comes back and
yeah, it fills in so many questions and stuff like that. But yeah, it's all through that.
That's Disney.
It is, and they've done a
Rebels
fantastic
Disney.
job. They've done a great job with that.
But yeah, I want to see this Kenobi one. But anyway, look. So we talked about Farrell. What do you think about
we're getting so off track, and it's great.
I don't care.
What do you think about
job.
Gordon? Jeffrey Wright playing Gordon. I thought he was good. I thought he was a good, strong Gordon.
He did well.
Yeah, and he was a bit of comedy relief himself.
He was.
Because he was I'm a cop, dude. You know what I mean? I'm a cop. Because Batman would be like,
it's hard to
thumb
picture
drive.
anyone other than Gary Oldman now, but
Um,
still good.
Yeah, I
don't see Gary Oldman.
Gary
as,
Oldman. I didn't think he was a great Gordon.
No. When I think
thought
of Gary Oldman, I think
yeah.
of Fifth Element, and I think of Air Force One. The first time I'd ever seen Gary Oldman was Air Force One with Harrison Ford, and he was playing the
Harrison Ford.
Han Solo again.
Yeah. So when I think of Gary Oldman, I think of him as a villain because he plays that role.
He's fantastic
well.
in everything he's in.
He is.
But he's a good Gordon. He was a good Gordon.
He did all right, but I don't picture him as Gordon.
It's hard to put him up against because he's had 3 movies of being Gordon. You know what I mean? Like if you were to put Jeffrey Wright's Gordon up against Batman Begins Gordon, you know what I mean? That's how I would look at it. And that's kind of how I'm looking at Pattinson because we don't have if Christian Bale only did Batman Begins, we'd be like he was a good Batman. That was a great Batman movie.
Yep.
But if we didn't have The Dark Knight, and then even The Dark Rises, that whole series just got blown up by Heath Ledger's portrayal, brought the best out of Bale, and even though it kind of gets a little bit slapped down by critics, I think The Dark Knight Rises was fantastic as well.
I love The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah,
a
lot of people
awesome.
pan it.
I love all 3 of those.
And obviously, it's not as good. I don't think it's as good as the first 2. But I think it's it's up there. You know what I mean?
I think the first one.
Yeah, I don't know. I reckon I put it on par. I reckon it's just as good, man.
For me,
I
the
just don't
first
like
one.
the ending ruined it for me because it was like, oh, Bane's just a simp,
Yeah.
and you know what I mean? And like, there's so many things that, and then the Joseph Gordon-Levitt Robin thing, and I'm like,
See,
Let's be honest. We're all kind of simps in a way.
oh yeah,
It's the power of the pussy.
Fucking Rachel. Well, no, not Rachel Wise. What's her name? Marion Cotillard. She was Talia al Ghul.
Oh, yeah.
She's
Yeah, I know you're
beautiful. Fair play to you, Bane. But in fairness, he knew her when she was a baby.
That's weird.
Jail.
Yeah.
So it's creepy.
But see,
Bane's still a bad guy. Yeah.
see the first Batman and Christian Bale series, right? And it's very similar to this one. Was a bit of a shock to the system. It's like, holy fuck, we've never seen something like this.
It's so real.
It is. And then you've got number 2, right? With Heath Ledger's portrayal of Joker. We'd never seen anything like that. It was psychotic. Yeah. It took it to a different level, right? And
it was less comical.
It was
more real.
It was, and that has set the precedence for it. Yeah, for following Jokers, as well as like Dave said, Batman. But like Christian Bale got taken to another level with his acting. He had to step up because of that. So then when you've got the third one, and I thought it was a fantastic movie as well. But I think people had that high expectation after, and because it was still pretty raw with Heath Ledger's death and all that in regards to the second one, there was high expectation. It is a hard act to follow. I think if people didn't have that extremely high expectation, they would appreciate it for the movie, and it is a fantastic movie.
That was the second movie.
Yeah,
I think Tom Hardy's Bane would have got more love.
It would have had a different reception, I think. Absolutely, and I think if you had topped it off with the third one, with I I mean, you can sit here and speculate. I just don't think that they would be the same movies if they were moved around in order.
No,
and
couldn't be. Well, Batman was who he was and in the position he was after the second one.
Absolutely. But this
you know
movie,
what
and
I
this
would
is one
actually
thing
really
that
like
I'm
to
excited
see?
about with this Batman is I walked out of there with the same feeling that I did after watching Dark Knight, right? With that, holy fuck, this is awesome. I want to see the next one. That's something different that I haven't seen before as far as Batman goes. I really enjoyed that and instantly wanted to walk back in and watch it again to pick up on those things that I'd missed. I felt that there was so much there that I was focused on. Sorry, on the story.
Whoa, whoa! What was that?
Oh, mate. Well, at least,
But anyway,
at least you didn't say fucking bless you like Reese did the other week. Fucking idiot. But
Hey, excuse me for being polite.
I just having a
yeah,
crack.
he thought
Having a
the
crack.
man thought you sneezed.
I know he
Vinno.
did.
That's all.
I know he did. What a fucking idiot. Kidding. But I'm just being a bully. But
What's new?
yeah, I know.
When will he stop?
Never.
I'm just gonna own it now.
All right. Sorry.
But I felt
Go on.
there was so much there that I missed, and I still feel like there is a lot there that I missed because I was so wrapped up and focused on everything that was happening. There was a lot going on, and I feel, especially with a lot of the scenes with the Riddler, there is a lot of little Easter eggs there that if I went back and watched it again,
deep as fuck.
yeah.
Man. And like just his facial expressions when he first sees Batman, and then when he's gone crazy in the interrogation room, fucking phenomenal actor.
Oh,
he's
yeah.
great in everything, and he gets the shit kicked out of him in every movie he's fucking in. Paul Dano, fuck, he's fantastic. He's fantastic. Have you ever seen There Will Be Blood?
No, actually,
With Daniel Day-Lewis? Watch that, man. He plays a little preacher in that. He's fantastic.
Taking lives. He's a psycho in that too.
He's a man. He in everything he's in. In everything he's in, he's good. I haven't seen anything he's crap in. He was in Looper as well. He's good in that.
That's
a great movie.
that was a fucking really good movie. That was another movie that I walked out thinking, "What the fuck?" Like questioning your
got shit
own
kicked out of him
existence.
in that.
Yeah,
But now we're talking about the next movies. So they've we got a little glimpse. We heard them and we saw a silhouette of the new Joker.
yeah.
Now that's Barry Keoghan's going to play him.
See, I'm in the position where I would love them to do, following on from Joaquin Phoenix's Joker.
They can't with the time because they're in
I
different
know
things.
they
I think
can't,
he would
but
fit in.
like, I would
I
love
think
to
he'd fit
see
in.
that.
Yeah.
So what you're
'Cause-
saying is basically you'd like Joaquin Phoenix's Joker to be the prequel to this movie in the sense of, or the lead up to
and
that
then
character.
come into the second
Yeah,
movie
yeah,
as
exactly.
the Joker.
Yeah.
Because like,
It could be done, but Gotham's different in the both of them. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like,
but it's
but
just
again, there's 10 years, 20 years could have went by, and he's an older Joker now.
But I also feel like, and I think I said this earlier when we spoke about the Joker before, is that movie really perceives him as more of the victim rather than the villain. Do you know what I mean? It's like a
well, you're
it's-
seeing it through his perspective.
exactly.
right?
It's a different mindset. So you don't see him as the bad guy. You see him as the victim. Like, and it was always to me the way after watching that I was like, how do they continue this? Like, because how can you have good guy, bad guy when you sort of look at them both as the good guy? You know what I mean? Like, it's just.
Well, you
I-
have to
I would
keep-
love to
keep
see
him
them
as
do
the
something with
good
that.
guy or the main character, because
Yeah.
all good villains have an ounce of reason behind them. Like Magneto,
Oh yeah, no
the
doubt.
X-Men.
Yeah.
Magneto and the X-Men.
Yep.
They consider Martin Luther King and Malcolm X to be Professor X and Magneto, in whereas Martin Luther King is the peace guy and Malcolm X is by any means necessary.
Yep.
We will have our rights, and that's what Magneto. They're both oppressed, Professor, because they're mutants. But one person is trying to figure out a way. It's like, let's just hide, and we'll show humans we're good, and we'll create education around it and all. And I've got a special place where you can be safe. And Magneto's like, I know where we'll be safe when every human is dead that fucks with us, and let's join my team. No more will we be treated like my parents were, like I was.
Yeah.
And you can see behind them, and it's the same when you see Israel. as a country. You're like, when you see them, they're Mossad talking about never again will we allow ourselves to be the Jews in that situation. You can kind of be like, okay, I get why they are no fucks given, why they are zero tolerance, and I understand why they're doing horrible stuff.
Yep.
And I felt like the Joker he only got even to do bad stuff towards the end, until you realise, okay, he's been stalking this chick and he's been thinking people are talking to him in a certain way, and did that happen? That's what I love about Joker. It's like you kind of have to think, look, when you look back and watch the movie a second time, you're like, okay, wait, did this happen?
Yeah.
Did this happen? Because when at the end and you're figuring out a whole heap of that shit didn't happen, you're like, okay, well, when you get to him talking to the psychiatrist, is he just telling them a different origin story every time?
Yeah.
That woman he killed at the end? Like, who knows? That's what I
this is what I like about these.
Could make it.
These movies being the realistic side, and I've gone back and watched a TV series that I watched a while ago. It's on Netflix. It's called Mind of a Criminal. I think it's Mind of a Criminal. But basically, every episode is on a different type of criminal. Episode 1 is on serial killers, right? And I've got a pretty big interest in that as far as the psychological side of how does somebody get to that point where they are this just so focused on power and death and misery for somebody else.
It's just having a normal childhood.
That's what it comes down to, a lot of it. But it's really interesting, and I suppose this is where Paul Dano's take on and the way he portrayed the Riddler in this movie, as we referred to. Yeah, it is, yeah. And it's, as we alluded to, and well, we didn't allude to it, we said flat out that it's very much Zodiac Killer style, the way that
/ Fireside yarns.
Yeah,
he's a fucking content creator with followers. I thought that was brilliant followers. The way they made it.
They made it
like that.
Modern
times. Does he have 69 subscribers?
No, he's got 500.
He's fucked up. He's got 500 exactly. Yeah, he never let it pass that.
Yeah.
The moral of the story is traumatize your children. They won't be serial killers.
No, they will be. They will be.
It's the ones.
No, we're trying to give bad advice here.
You watch every serial killer fucking thing. He was such a lovely child when he was young.
I don't know about that.
Kid.
And so this is what that.
They're all creeps.
This is that series that
their parents hide their creeps.
This is that series that I was talking about on Netflix. It goes right into the upbringings and the makings of all these serial killers. Like it talks about Ted Bundy.
Bundy, Dahmer, all them motherfuckers were creeps, man.
Yeah, and it talks about their childhood and the studies that they've done to sort of give an indication that these people are going to be serial killers, which, obviously done too late and they can't pick up on it. But it's interesting when they talk about the psychology around it and how someone's gotten there and their brain patterns and the physical aspects of and the brain development. And you look back...
Reese is right as well. There's kind of like two paths. There's one... There's like your Jeffrey Dahmers, who a lot of people think, okay, he was born this way. He had two great parents, but he couldn't stop himself from torturing animals and dissecting things, and that was his path. But Reese's right. A lot of serial killers, the majority of them, had horrible parents.
Yes.
Or like came out of a weird situation or were abused.
And see, that's one of the things that is addressed in this series. And I implore you to watch it, because they say in a lot of these cases that the serial killer has a sibling. So why is only one of those a serial killer? For the same upbringing, the same experiences at home sort of thing. And that's what it touches on. But bringing it back to Batman and the Joker and those sorts of movies, what's interesting is how deep they have gone with their research into these sorts of, or into the criminology side of it and the psychology as well. Not just the movie makers, but the actors. To build these characters to be what they are and make them so believable. And the scary thing about them is their believability, and seeing that on a screen, but knowing, similar shit is possible in our world today, such as the Zodiac Killer. the Golden State.
So for the people
Golden
that aren't
State
watching,
Killer, that was another massive one, man. That doesn't get mentioned, and it's only been recently that he has been caught. But you look at a lot of the
Golden State Killer is caught, isn't he?
He was caught.
Didn't he get caught last year?
He was only recently
before or
caught.
something?
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
He was only recently caught, and but that was
huge. He was
that was a
prolific for 3
massive.
decades.
That was a massive run, man, of not only rape, but and it broke out to murder and theft and all those sorts of things. And you can see when you step back and have a look at the build up from where he started to where he ended up, and then you talk about the psychology of all that. You can see even just in Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, where he starts from and how he gets to where he is at the end. It's just, for me, that's interesting. For other people, it might be as well, but
I think that's what made it such a good movie, was because
seeing that
go
strong
through
portrayal.
all the motions of that, like.
Yeah. That's what I mean. That's that realism.
It's personable, yeah.
Yeah, it's that realism, and for me, that's enjoyable. Not in the sense that.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah. But you look at it and just go, he's done a really fucking good job. This is a really good movie because I can appreciate the work done behind the actual work.
I have him and Joaquin Phoenix and Ledger at the same. I just think they're different Jokers.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? But
they're
I
at
think
different stages.
Different.
Yeah, they're at different stages in the Joker as well.
I even think that they're completely different. I think that Ledger's Joker is like a disillusioned army vet type of thing.
Yep.
Who's became obsessed with chaos and he's injured and like he hates the way a whole platoon of soldiers could die and no one gives a shit. But one little, you know what I mean? Like all this kind of stuff, and he knows how to make bombs and he's good with weapons and all. Whereas Joaquin Phoenix Joker is literally someone who has lost his mind and became obsessed with somebody and now has become a cult figure.
Yep.
So that's why I think the second one, because they based the first one off Taxi Driver, it's Scorsese movie. I think they could base the second one off of like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Like he's in the mental asylum, and then everyone outside that Joker mob who loves his ideology, or what they think he is becoming big, and they're trying to break him out of jail and all. So I think they could do it that way. But him, like the Riddler, and unlike Heath Ledger's Joker, is not a physical, strong person. You know what I mean? Who can, you know what I mean? So I think Joaquin Phoenix's Joker is going to be someone who needs a lot of henchmen.
Yep.
And Riddler was so good, he got Batman to do everything for him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Super
I love that. Yeah, he's so smart. He was like, I could have never done that by myself. Look at me.
Yeah. And that's what I was referring to. Yeah. That's when he was referring to his physical. And what's, when I was relating it back to that first scene where he attacks the mayor, and he just fumbles because he's just not capable of carrying that out. So that sort of that final scene, or I won't say the final scene, but him in the hospital where he's laying it all out and he gets agitated that Batman hasn't worked the whole picture out. Sort of once you, and this is another reason why I want to go back and watch it again, putting all the pieces into place throughout the movie. And I think if I went back and watched it again, I would take note to those key pieces and not be so fucking barred up about the introduction of the Batmobile.
Well, I think that's why the second time was good for me.
I love that you tried to segue there and Dave didn't capture it.
No, I am. I just want to recognise what he said. We can talk about the Batmobile again. But, no, I forgot what I was going to say. Sorry. No.
I am interested because I was talking about, putting the pieces. When you went and watched it the second time, did you pick up on all those key pieces?
It was easier. It was better to watch.
Okay, that's all I need.
Because you weren't trying to keep up and figure out riddles and stuff.
Yeah.
So you noticed the little things. And it actually went quicker for me.
Sweet.
It felt like a quicker movie.
Now,
but yeah, I tried to segue to the Batmobile earlier. I was talking about the Penguin got the scared shitless when he first seen the Batman. He's part of that. What the fuck is that? And the noise in the theater, boys.
Man.
Yeah.
But the lighting, everything.
that scene where he's just revving the fucking guts out of it, and this might be the mechanic in
Then
me
stalls
coming
it.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck, man. Just that you can hear that muscle car, that power, and it's a completely different Batmobile to what we've seen throughout any of the others. You know, you had Batman with.
It's tough, bro.
It was fucking man. But you had, you know, early on you've got those very slimline, I suppose you'd say, traditional Batmobiles.
You're still looking for that futuristic gadget inspired.
Yeah, they're trying to make it
vehicle.
look crazy, the Batmobile.
Yeah.
But this one was like, no.
Actually,
he wanted a fucking powerful motherfucking car.
This is, I've got a Mustang. I'm turning into a badass motherfucker.
Fuck yes. And see, throughout early on, you see the back, I suppose, the Bat Cave with the engines pulled apart and all that sort of stuff. Like, and he's riding around on a bike. I was just itching for a fucking Batmobile, and then when it didn't disappoint, man. I was sitting there like a kid with a grin from ear to ear, watching that scene. Like, this is so good. Fucking
and
awesome.
The chase was good too.
Absolutely,
it was a good car chase.
It was.
And it was in the dark, and it was raining, and because every other car chase they try and put it in the light of day and make everything a bit. Now it was a bit far fetched that he went up the back of the truck. I was a bit like, how did they not figure out another way to do that?
I'm going to ask this question to somebody, because I know this bloke loves fucking car chases, especially from the Matrix days, and I want his response. Nathan McKenzie, what was your thoughts on the car chase in Batman? If you haven't seen it, go and watch it. Get back to me.
Where do you want him to put those comments?
I want him to put them either YouTube. I don't care. You can message me.
I want you. Oh no! I'm going to take this.
Go.
I want you to put it the same place that Fergus put the carbonara pie.
On the
down
floor.
below.
What a
I know he knows what I'm talking about.
He knows what you're talking about. What a fucking weekend. But yeah, I want to know.
Enough all over my trim.
Oh, get in your beard. That car chase, man. I was sitting there the whole time, just loving it. And yeah, that was one of my first thoughts, knowing that Natty Mac loves a good car chase. And I was like, fuck, I wonder what he thinks about this. But yeah, it was. Yeah, iconic.
Awesome.
An iconic scene, I think. Yeah, it'll be one.
And
that
then the walk towards fucking Penguin when he's upside down. And
Yep. It was.
I loved that when they caught Penguin. It was so funny.
Oh man, it was funny.
No hombre español. It's L-E-L.
So good.
That was because Penguin's smart as fuck in the comics as well.
Yep.
So that was another way of kind of being like, yeah, he is this mafia guy, but he's not just going to get to this position because of how tough he is. It's because he's a fucking trick. You know what I mean? Yep. He knows what he's talking about.
He's a mastermind. Yeah.
Yeah. He's so good. So fucking good, man. And Batman fighting in the club to get to him. Fuck.
Man, that was awesome. That was...
Those poor twins.
They got
they get fucked up, eh?
Yeah, the whole movie they look like little Matt Damons or something. But there is a character
also
in
shouldn't
DC.
have been
They've
born.
got Tweedledee and Tweedledum, the two twins. So I'm wondering if that's kind of like a little comic payoff because they were Two-Face's henchmen.
Yep.
So I wonder if they'll end up in the sequel because I do think they'll bring Harvey Dent in the sequel.
Yep.
Even the website suggests it. Because in the Rata when it first came before,
I was about to say a whole other part to talk about.
And
we can do that at the end if you want.
No, bring it up. So what Dave's referring to is at the end.
If you actually stuck around till the end of the credits,
yeah, if you did,
you would have seen
there is a.
I've got an angry. Before you tell this, Vinno,
go for it.
I've got an. So the first time I seen it, I waited till the end, and I got me end credit. The second time I went with fucking me brother, my wife and his wife.
Who's your brother?
Cheers to Colin.
Cheers to Colin. but that's right. They kicked us out. They came into the fucking theaters like, no, there's no after scene. Are you guys waiting for after scene? No, there's not. And I'm like, there is a thing, but
You're joking.
and I was like, all right, whatever.
I would have told them
And I
to
was
fuck
like,
off.
these motherfuckers want to clean up this place early.
That's why you got to get gold class because nobody comes in and tells you to do fuck all.
That's right.
That's fucked.
And you get good food.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers.
In fact, you can order too much food sometimes. As I've
Gold class to me leaves me a bit like, Do you know what I mean? But then again, so does
So
the popcorn.
me and Hal were talking about this because, like, when you say I'm going to the movies, when it comes to like the experience, what do you picture?
Honestly, if you were to ask me that 10 years ago, I would say going to the movies with my dad and my brothers. Now, what I picture these days is a night, an opportunity for Rin and myself when Oliver, or like when we've got a kid-free night, he's staying at his grandparents, and this is why we got a chance to see them, you know, the Batman. It's an opportunity for us to sort of get out and go and do a date night. So,
but I was more around the lines of like, when you talk about going to the movies, movie aside,
look, I don't think I
What
could
do you
ever
think
get
of?
away from the popcorn, Coke, and choc top.
Yeah, what do you order?
Fucking
I
oath.
get the biggest popcorn I can get.
Yep.
The biggest drink I can get.
Hang on.
Then that's probably it.
Hang on, when we're
But
talking
then-
about popcorn, right? Here's a trick. And I don't know, do you do this? When I buy popcorn, we buy a bag of M&Ms as well. I
In
drop
the
that
popcorn?
Mix
yes,
it around. Yeah.
Ruin the popcorn.
Oh,
Bro.
Does that?
bro, take
Em
game
gets her
changer.
own
Take it back.
popcorn.
Do you know
and
what
she
else
can
is
put her
awesome?
Maltese. She puts Maltesers in it.
Yeah, or see that's a bit
Yeah.
messy. That's a bit messy, but I
It's
respect it.
fucking, don't ruin the popcorn.
You're not though.
Go
No,
on,
you're
what
adding
is
to
Do
it.
you know what else is awesome? Eating all the chocolate off your choc top, dipping the ice cream in the popcorn.
That's fucked.
That's childish behaviour.
That's
Get
what
the
I'm-
fuck out.
Yeah, press the button. Yeah.
Well, do you know what? I dip my
Oh no, he
ice
controls the
cream.
button.
I dip my ice cream and
If you don't like it, you can get the fuck out.
Oh, use your words against you.
All right.
That's
So,
right.
Reese and anybody else, if you're going to get a choc top and dip it in popcorn,
you got to eat the chocolate first.
get the fuck out.
It's man, you don't.
It's not. That's not as good as the soundboard.
It's not. It's
It's
not
really
really
not.
not.
I prefer
And
the
do you know what?
soundboard.
It's like dipping.
It's
Tell
not
me you
even-
don't like. Tell me you don't like dipping your French fries from Macca's in your ice cream or thick shake. Tastes like a donut.
I'll tell you right now. I don't. I like putting my
Have you
chips
actually
from
done it?
Macca's on my burger.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it depends on the burger.
I
Quarter
put my
pounder.
chips on all the burger. double
100%. Quarter pounder
Come on.
cheeseburger. Yep, I'm about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Big Mac?
Although
No,
I put
not
it
so
on any
much.
burger.
I like Big Mac
I
salad.
don't get a Big Mac because there's too much fucking lettuce on the Big Mac.
I love
But have you
lettuce.
seen those Mega Macs?
No.
Is that like double patty Big Mac?
Double patty Big
Yeah,
Macs.
I'm
I
about
can
that.
deal with that because that's the only thing I don't like about the Big Mac is that it doesn't have them quarter pounder burgers, man.
Yeah.
You don't have
Them
enough
big-
meat.
That meat on the quarter pounders is the best shit. Remember,
Reese's
remember I used to
alluded to
get
how much
the pounder?
Yeah.
I used to get a pounder. Yeah.
We had a dude when I
I'm
was
sure
at tape.
you've given some pounders in your life.
We
I
spoke
used to-
about
that was my
last week.
nickname in high school. There he is, the pounder.
Whenever we
Watch
heard,
out, ladies.
Whenever we heard La
No,
Bamba,
seriously, watch out.
whenever we heard La
La
Bamba, we
Bamba.
knew Dave was
Yeah.
given the fucking pounder.
Oi, guess what? Cheers to Colin.
Yeah, I'm up for that.
We had a dude in TAFE, like my first year, fucking took on the pounder, man. And fuck, it was messy.
It's so greasy. The problem is that
He-
if you act the
threw up,
cardboard is fucking horrible. Like they serve it
It's
to
an
you.
oil
And I actually had
soaking-
5 quarter pounders on it, so it was a pound and a quarter.
Yeah.
And it fucking when they give it out to you and it barely closes in the fucking
Box.
cardboard
Yep.
and the box, yeah. And it's soaking wet.
Yeah,
It's that much grease because
shit.
they put
That's what she
cheese
said.
in between every patty as well.
Oh,
There's never too much cheese.
there is never too much cheese.
I'm sure both of you guys know about cheese.
Hey,
We got
We're-
foreskins.
we're untainted.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheese beans supreme.
No, we just clean our dicks. I just clean my dick.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, look, if
It
you
makes me
can't
happy.
if you can't clean your dick, you're a fucking childish motherfucker, and you should
Actually,
get the fuck
I agree.
out.
You
Oi,
know
there's
what?
a reason
I
my
agree with
nickname's Clean Dick
circumcision.
Reese, mate. I'll tell you.
Because if you can't clean your dick, you probably don't deserve a full penis.
That's exactly
I
right.
don't
probably
des-
don't.
Oi,
So-
do you know what? You know why I don't deserve a full penis? Because I'm a fucking piece of shit. That's why.
No, you're not. You're a
Oh,
fucking legend.
you're not a piece of shit, but you still don't deserve a full penis. But you're not a
No, it's because I'm a piece of shit.
Nah, look, what you got's what you got. That's all right, Reese.
Yeah, you know.
You know?
Oi, I didn't choose this life or this penis. It's what I got.
But we love the
Isn't
fact
that mad?
we love the fact that you
that
have
his penis was changed without his consent. They changed the shape of Reese's dick. They did that.
they took a piece of him, didn't they?
You want a
You
piece
want,
of
you want a
Reese?
piece of me?
Yeah.
Hey, you want a piece of me? They already
yeah.
took it from me.
Reese, we love the fact that, yes, you are here. They may have taken a bit of your dick, but that's okay, because at the end of the day, you're here with us. You're a good cunt.
Yeah.
We spoke about the reference to cunt last week. Reese's a good cunt.
Bunch of cunts.
Reese
Reese's a good
you,
cunt.
Hey,
to be our
in case
friend,
you haven't,
you don't need a complete dick.
No, well,
I will never judge you for
I can
having
be a
for being
complete
missing
dick,
some
trust
penis.
me.
No, but you're missing some penis. That's okay. There's a little bit of penis there. That's
And just
an
in
inch.
case the people...
if you're playing with it right,
in,
you know.
look,
in case, you
your
know,
knob-
any of you
your knob might be cold
69
in
legends not picking up
It
what we're
doesn't
putting down,
actually.
I'm a circumcised
Because you
man.
lose, but
I have
you
a
lose,
hot penis.
but you lose like
Ugly dick.
feeling in the helmet, right?
he does.
Doesn't
yeah.
it become because yours isn't like
no,
a.
do you know what?
when
I
touch
reckon
the
that's.
tip of
I,
your
do you know
dick,
what?
Reese,
I reckon that's false. That's false. That's a rumor.
You would probably though, right?
Do you know
you would,
why?
of
Do you know
course.
why I think that's false?
Why?
Because I suffer from premature ejaculation.
No. Listen, I've
Oh,
watched.
Hannah suffers from your premature ejaculation.
Yes, that's right.
I think.
That's not
I
your
don't
problem.
think.
That's right.
I think
okay,
we
what are
are
you talking about?
overly sensitive.
She wants to feel that good. That's not my problem.
I think with a 4E, you're overly sensitive, and it's just due to that extra protection that we get, especially in
It's
winter.
like it's just a
I bet you
polo
I'll still
neck.
come quicker than you.
Do you want a challenge? Is that a challenge?
It is a
We
challenge.
got our next in-person
So we
challenge,
say,
everybody. Yeah. Fuck it, here.
Fuck,
no,
my
I'll
parents
just be
watch
the
this.
sales.
Cheers to Colin.
But anyway, guys,
Back to Batman.
did we talk about the new Joker?
Oh, we're
Barry
getting a Batman.
Keoghan? Hey, big pun. Even though it's kind of like, you know, like I should
I
have
think
Batman.
I feel that he
But
stole.
whatever.
Yeah,
Hey, I don't
It's
care.
okay.
Still
I
relevant.
I'm here
Spread
for
the
it.
love.
I'm here for it.
Spread the love.
Look, what was your thoughts in that final scene with the Riddler in the jail cell when you first realised that he was talking to the because initially
I didn't like it.
you don't
I
think,
saw it coming, to be honest.
I
Yeah,
didn't
but-
like it.
Did you click straight away that it was the Joker that they were
Definitely.
alluding to? Yep.
Yep,
with just with
100%.
the way that he spoke.
Yeah, 100%.
Everything, the way they spoke, his silhouette, the kind of cadence.
Still want to
of
know
it
who it
all.
was that did his voice?
It's Barry Keoghan.
Yeah.
We know who it is.
Now, initially you didn't
He's
know.
actually in The Killing of the Sacred Deer with Colin Farrell.
Yep.
Who's Penguin. But that's a fantastic movie. He's in Peaky Blinders with Bane, Tom Hardy. He's a great young actor coming up, and he's a very distinctive looking fella. So I think whatever they're going to do, obviously there's going to be prosthetics involved too.
Yep.
But I'm looking forward to seeing what it's going to be like, because they left themselves a lot of room to make him look whatever way they
I wish I had half the Joker's chin, to be honest.
Here's a fun little fact for people that don't know. They didn't actually cast him as the friend or Riddler's friend to start with. On their website, he was, or in Wikipedia and all that, he was cast in the movie, but as a police officer and not actually in the role
They
that he
hid
was
him.
playing. Yeah. So that was a cool little fact, because Rin and I walked out and we went, oh fuck, we got to find out who that is, and we couldn't initially, and it was further digging that we found out. But it was interesting the way that they hid that.
He's a fantastic actor. If you watch it, he plays like a kid with mental issues in The Killing of the Sacred Deer with Colin Farrell, but he's actually a deity. He's a god. You know?
Yeah, okay.
It's such a B, not a B grade movie, but a like an artsy movie. But Colin Farrell ends up killing his whole family. And you have to watch it. It's a fantastic movie with Colin Farrell in it, and Barry Keoghan in that is fantastic. And obviously he's good in Peaky Blinders and stuff as well.
Yeah.
But he is a big up and comer, and I think that he will be a fantastic Joker. But again, it's like we always think, like when Heath Ledger was cast as the Joker, people are like, "Whoa, Brokeback Joker."
Yeah.
The guy from The Knight's Tale. Oh my God. You're gonna follow Jack Nicholson with that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're gonna be, we're used to the animated series.
And not only
Jack
that,
fucking
didn't
Nicholson.
But hang on, I
Jack
see-
Nicholson also warn Heath Ledger about like
He told
playing
him,
the
he
part?
said it's
Yeah.
just a
Psychology.
rough part to play, and it ultimately Heath Ledger
See,
lost himself in the role. They say,
the
and
last
he said as well.
when I think of Heath Ledger prior to the Joker, I think of Ned Kelly when his portrayal of that with Orlando Bloom. And even though that
not
wasn't
a big international movie, though, you have to remember for in Australia we love it.
Yeah. But for me, I think even though it was historically inaccurate in some aspect, that was where I saw him, and I love The Knight's Tale. I don't care what anybody says. I love that movie. I think it's funny.
It was a fun fucking movie.
And then when I saw him and his portrayal of Ned Kelly, and there were certain things that he did throughout that movie, that it just showed that he'd paid a lot of attention. So, especially in the scene where they're in the bank scene, the way he holds his neck up. If you look at the portrait of Ned Kelly, his final portrait, the way he holds himself and his neck, you watch Heath Ledger's portrayal of that, he matches that perfectly.
And he talks out the side of his mouth.
He does.
And it kind of goes...
He just took a lot of his parts very seriously, man.
And this is
he's a fantastic
sign of a good actor, man.
Absolutely. So when
the accent and everything.
When I found out that he was going to play the Joker, I was looking at Jack Nicholson, loved that movie and his portrayal of that. And I think I'd only just seen some of the animated series of the Joker with Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill, yeah.
Unreal Joker.
So I instantly had somewhat of an open mind in it, but at the same time a high expectation from Heath Ledger, from seeing the way he portrayed such an iconic character in Ned Kelly, the way that he did. I don't know. I sort of knew he was going to do a good job, but at the same time, probably had too high of an expectation.
He was an unpolished Joker.
He was.
You know what I mean? He was a chaotic, crazy fucking Joker.
He did it justice.
His face paint was like more like war paint that he had kind of just put on and then left on from the night before type of shit, instead of the Jack Nicholson or the Mark Hamill Joker or any Joker really before that was so manicured and beautiful.
He was there's a reason we keep coming back and referring to him as the benchmark for that, is because of his portrayal of it. He's just did such a good job of it. Fantastic actor taken too soon, unfortunately.
Whoa, caps lock.
Yeah. But it's going to be interesting because you had Joaquin Phoenix's, then you had Jared Leto, who got absolutely destroyed by
everybody
people.
loves Jared Leto. I don't know what you mean, mate.
He's a good actor.
He got destroyed.
He was a shit character.
Yeah.
That was a horrible character of the Joker they chose to do. And he's a weirdo in real life too, as well.
He is.
Like, he's like a cult leader. Do you know that? He charges people to go to an island.
I'm the motherfucking cult leader. Yeah.
He's
that fucking album is amazing.
He's 50 now, and he looks as young as he did when he was 25. Yeah, man. He is young.
Man,
as
dude,
fuck.
Keanu Reeves is like 57 or so.
Yeah, I mean, but I knew that. Like, I didn't know. I thought Jared Leto was like young.
No, man, he's.
What was that emo band that he was in? That shit band.
30 Seconds to Mars. Fucking shit.
Yeah.
That's 30 Seconds to Mars is his cult. So him and his brother, who are in 30 Seconds to Mars, you look up, just type in Jared Leto's cult when you have time. Everyone gets in white robes. They go to an island. There's no cameras allowed.
That's not the one that Kanye and fucking Justin Bieber went to, is it?
I don't know.
They went. Oh, maybe. No, that was a.
No,
yeah,
that's a Christian thing, isn't it? This is it's his thing. This is nothing to do with Christianity. This is all about Jared Leto.
No,
it's fucking mad. It's mad. People pay thousands of dollars. They go there and they get to hang out with Jared Leto and do spiritual stuff with him. And
wow.
Was it like they get to hang or?
Man, they might get to hang off him. Who knows? But yeah, he was a shit Joker. I had high hopes for him. I tried to give him some. But
did you guys like the Suicide Squad movies?
The second one is phenomenal.
I didn't.
It's called Suicide Squad, and that's a revamp of it. So it was there was the Suicide Squad, which was Will Smith and Margot Robbie and all that, and then they made Suicide Squad, which is similar cast, like Margot Robbie still in it and all, but it was a different. So James Gunn, who did Guardians of the Galaxy, he took over, and it's so much better. So there's that movie, and Peacemaker, the TV show. Peacemaker, the TV show, is the best comic book and the funniest comic book TV show ever made.
Yeah, okay.
Okay,
It's
I haven't
fucking
seen that.
amazing. It's amazing. Peacemaker.
What's it on?
And it's
Where can I
crazy.
where can I watch it?
Probably binge or something.
It's hard to
Probably
it's hard
Whatever
to keep track of it
HBO
now.
is.
Binge, yeah.
Yeah. But it's,
Look, I think I
it's
thought
the best comic book TV show ever made.
I thought
And it's so funny and gross and grotesque.
yeah, okay.
It's R-rated.
I thought the Suicide Squad with Will Smith in there was just over the top. Like it was.
That was shit.
It
But the
was.
second one, it's much
I haven't
better.
seen the second one.
I'm telling you now, if you watch
Okay.
that, you'll love it.
I'm gonna have to because after watching that first one, I was like, this is just like it was just. Yeah. I felt that they were just trying to cash in on the franchise for the sake of cashing in on the franchise.
Hey, Reese has got the shocker going.
He does. Look at him. He's doing the Barracuda. Look at him. Hey?
No, that's the shocker, isn't it? Isn't that the
No,
shocker?
that's
Two in the pink, one in the stink.
Yeah.
That's the shocker.
Barracuda.
Ooh, maybe. That's it.
She's indicated she only wants to. Oh.
No, that's the shocker.
Yeah.
That's the shocker. Yeah. And then
Except this
the
part.
thumb plays with the thumb plays with the fucking.
No, well, generally it's this part's my dick
In the ass.
in the A's.
Fuck. This is exactly why I have to click
Hey, now we're talking.
explicit content each week that this goes
Two
up.
dicks
like
in
that.
the ass.
Just fucking.
Who wants to help? Oh, it's Batman. Wait, one's me, one's Batman. Yeah.
Which one's you?
The smaller one, obviously.
No, well, I want.
That's
Look, Reese. That scaffolder might not appreciate you, but I do.
Thanks,
All
man.
right.
I appreciate you.
hey, just to touch back on Batman, if we can.
Yes.
You know what I
Batman's
love?
touching
The
back
inner
of something
monologue.
line. I was giving you that too.
The inner monologue. See, in the comic books, Batman has a big inner monologue. Where
Yep.
he's like, "I've been on the city for so long," and he's
yeah.
talk because Batman doesn't talk a lot. You rely on the comic books of his inner monologue to know what the fuck he's thinking.
Yep.
And I thought that was brilliant that they included that at the start and at the end.
Yep.
And particularly they placed something in the way as well. I thought the way they fit that in was
I
beautiful.
was going to try and make a something in the way joke earlier, but the moment passed.
But something got in the way, did it? Oh,
Thank
there
you.
you go. There's
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
Now, what I loved about it is all these movies take these old great songs like a something in the way and all for the trailer, and they try and make it like they slow it
Nirvana.
down and they try and make it like a thing. But I was like, oh, they're probably doing that as well. But no, they made it part of the score in the movie.
100%, man.
So good, so good.
I was like, when the first chord played, I was like, I was so excited, man. And I literally turned to Hannah. I was like, oh, something in the way. And she's like, huh? But it was like,
Because you're a big Nirvana head, eh?
Yeah.
What did you say to
also-
her at that point? Did you look at her and just go? Did you look at her and just go?
Get the fuck out.
Thank you. Yeah.
exactly what I did.
Go back to your
No,
own
but
country.
that song as well kind of epitomizes. It's not just a Nirvana song. It's like a depressed Nirvana song.
Yeah, fully.
Like that on Nevermind, Something in the Way is like the most depressed song on the album.
It's,
but it's also
something you can
pure
relate to.
Kurt Cobain.
Yeah.
It's pure Kurt Cobain. And like Reese said, there's 2 chords in the whole song.
Yeah.
Dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
And then you've got the fucking cello and all in there. That's a weird Nirvana song, actually. Did they do that on fucking Unplugged?
Pretty sure they did, eh?
Because
I'm
I
gonna
know
look
they
it
had
up
the
right
cello.
now.
They had the cello.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna, because, yeah, I'm pretty
That's
sure
a
they did.
fantastic album too.
Oh, bro.
It wouldn't
That's
be
my
good.
favourite Nirvana album.
Yeah,
It's
it's
no
you go.
joke.
even though it's half of the songs are covers, kind of like Garage Inc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
by Metallica. But oh man, they
Which,
did some
hang
great
on.
meat puppet stuff and some Vaseline.
Garage. I loved Garage.
Yeah, it
I
is.
Loved their
It's
take.
number 9, track number 9.
There you
Something
go.
in the way.
Yeah, Garage Inc.
might
is,
put a little
is
snippet
my
in here,
fourth
maybe.
or
I
fifth
don't know.
favorite Metallica album. Probably it's up there. I
I-
think it's one of the best ones.
I really enjoyed it because
It's all covers.
yeah, and a lot of those songs I'd heard before, and then to hear their take on that and understand why they put those on that album, it was cool. I really enjoyed
Well,
it.
do you know what? Do you know why they made the album? The original. So there's 2 albums. Or I should say, there's 2 eras of music on that.
Yeah.
And-
It's
and
it's
the
a
first
2
one was
CD.
when they were
It's a 2
breaking-
CD on the
Yeah.
yeah. First
But
one
the
was when they were
earlier
cutting
ones-
their teeth, and then the after.
Well, they were cutting Jason Newsted's team. Cliff had died.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
And they were breaking in Jason Newsted. So that's why though it still sounds early Metallica, like Am I Evil and Bread Van and Blitzkrieg and all those.
Yep.
But then when they were releasing it, they're like, let's do some more covers. And then they put in Turn the Page and fucking Tuesday's Gone and all them great.
Man, when I heard those
PT
on
ones.
the first listen through, when I heard those, I was like, whoa, fuck! It was just unreal. Like,
It's so different.
I loved
But
that.
here, seeing as to bring it back to Batman again.
Yeah,
I don't mean to because I
No, we should.
No,
but,
yeah.
no, but I know, Dave, you and I have already talked about this when Vinno wasn't here.
Yeah.
And we've already spoken about this other series of movies tonight as well. Vinno, did you pick up on, speaking of the music side of the movie,
Oh, yeah.
a section of music that was familiar to you from another?
The Batman theme. You know Batman's theme?
Yes.
Did that sound like something else from an iconic theme? From another dark gentleman's iconic theme?
To be honest, I'm gonna say I didn't listen or didn't focus too much on the music. Apart from, like, I could not
Give it to
miss
him, Reese.
Nirvana. Yeah, you're gonna have to, because like
It's
you
not
couldn't
Nirvana,
miss.
it's-
No. But what I'm saying is you couldn't miss the Nirvana track, right? Because where it was played,
Yeah.
there wasn't a lot of dialogue.
But to be fair,
and
this
throughout the
section was
movie,
also
This,
pretty
this gets
prominent.
played more than Nirvana.
It
This part
probably
gets
is.
played more
Now,
than
what I'm
Nirvana.
going to say, and this is what I was referring to at the start with me going in there with a high expectation, and hearing you guys talk about the Riddler and referring to him as the Zodiac Killer. And I walked in there with, I would say, a high focus. I was trying to focus on a lot of the finer details and knowing what the Riddler's aspect was.
Be
That's
careful
not
what you say
excuse-
because you're about to contradict yourself.
I might do. But I didn't take too much notice to the music, and I'll go back to me saying I want to go back and have a listen. I'll have a watch of it again to pick up on those and almost a relaxed view. In the JMO.
Vinno,
Yeah. So
you know the way.
what was the
does
music?
your head look like right now with the back of your chair and all? Does it look like a helmet of some dude?
So I'm guessing
famous
because
If
we
you were to be sitting in
because
a,
we're
in a thing and the
talking
helmet was
about it,
getting
they're
lowered
referring
onto
to
you.
you're referring to Star Wars, right?
No.
Yeah.
But yes.
Yeah. So when you mentioned this, the thing, and I can't remember the movie offhand straight away. That might be because I'm on some pretty good painkillers and scotch, but
So with Batman's theme,
What's new
Yeah.
though?
I don't take drugs.
dun 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 dun
Dun,
dun.
dun, dun, dun.
And see, that's what I mean. I didn't take too much notice to that.
It's the same notes.
They
and tone as the
literally did a
Imperial March.
remix of the
Yeah.
Imperial
Okay.
March.
There you go. And so
But I think that's awesome.
on a watch.
And the
I
best
might
thing
have,
is, it's
I'm
actually for everyone that's actually paying attention to us, all 69 of you nice motherfuckers.
You 69ers.
The remix is on the Batman soundtrack.
Okay,
so
cool.
you can listen to it.
There you go.
It's great.
Shit, yeah.
And see,
Spotify,
and
where
that's-
you get your best podcast. You
And
get it
also
on
where you
soundtrack.
get where you get our track lists of previous song episodes.
where we choose. Yeah. So, and that's what I mean. Like, I really want to go back, and I want to do it while it's still in cinemas, because I don't think you get the same atmosphere from home.
Nah.
But I
Definitely.
really
Glad I
want to
watched
go
that
back
in
and
the
Unless you
yeah.
got money.
Well, yeah. and
Yeah,
You might have a
some
cinema in
people
your
got
house,
quite
like
a
that.
I
whole
don't.
fucking
I don't.
home
But
system,
I would
man.
really like to go back and watch that again, and as I said, like a bit more relaxed. So not trying to focus on the finer, mainly the story and the finer details, because I know what happens throughout the movie now, and I can sort of focus on other things. And that's one of the things that I'm talking about. You know, the music score, and you can't miss Kurt Cobain's voice
What are you talking about?
in that.
So good.
It's iconic, you know,
Yeah.
and you know, anybody that's grown up in our generation or has listened to a lot of Nirvana, you might not have even heard that album or listened to that album or that song. You know who it is, right? It's that it's that guitar tone. It's that
an
voice.
As soon as I heard
Nirvana song,
the first
You
fucking
have, but-
chord, man, I knew. Like,
But
it's
you've
just-
listened
they
to a lot
didn't
of
even
Nirvana.
play with it
right?
even.
No.
They didn't score it up too much. It's pretty much something in the way. Like,
Yeah.
it's one guitar. There's fucking... Is there even drums in it? After the first verse, maybe? Or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. So,
So
people of
good.
our generation, where we've grown up, and even though I've said in previous episodes I haven't listened to a lot of Nirvana, since that episode I have gone and actively listened to a bit more.
So good. Incesticize, man. If you want to get into the punk side of Nirvana, that
Yeah.
Incesticide, Bleach, man,
Bleach.
man.
Well, see,
If you want to, the
and I'll get
drums,
there.
it's not even growl on Bleach, eh? It's not even growl
No.
on the drums on Bleach.
I'll get there. What I've been doing lately, and this is just out of pure interest, and so I started following a site on Instagram, and it's a punk site, right? And they've been putting up a lot of videos of like the Ramones, early Ramones, and those sorts of things, and it's giving a bit of a rundown in history on the punk and its influences and its effect on popular culture and how it's worked in with metal and grunge and all those sorts of things. So what I've been doing is going back and listening to a lot of those early bands, and a lot of it have listened
New
to
York
before.
Dolls. They probably inspired the Ramones.
Yeah, man. Like, well, it goes back even further than that. Like, some of its roots go back to a lot of roots for music goes back to blues and stuff like that. You know.
Yeah.
And I haven't quite reached that era of grunge and where it all started to breach out from there, and so I will get to that, I dare say. And it's just
Pixies, man. Pixies, Mudhoney,
yeah,
Melvins.
man.
There's so many good.
There is so much
that punk grunge.
it's
kind of weird.
It all, and this is
Grunge was an interesting era, hey.
dude. It
It was
all
like
is when you
pretentious punk or something like
Yeah.
artsy
Yeah.
punk.
when
Yeah.
you when you look at it, and
Like
this is
Pearl
why,
Jam. Pearl Jam came out of there in
Yeah.
Soundgarden, and they're much more talented than
Yeah.
than the punk that was going on around them, I guess.
But this is why I wanted to go back and listen to that, because of these episodes that we've done prior. The transition from, what you would classify as classic rock and branching into metal and punk, and where those roots have come from and how it's gotten to that point, and then where, hip hop comes out of that, which I will get to eventually once I start down that path. But
I'm just gonna say,
at the moment,
you guys miss me mixing In Excess into Little John this afternoon.
well, that needs to happen again.
It was
I
a
think that
time.
needs to happen on an episode, but
Yeah.
Should have
yeah.
intros and outros.
We should do. Reese's going to start doing our tracks, so we're going to get you to rate
We
them.
should have all original music. I'd love on, or you know what I mean, like our shit. I think would be fucking.
Most of it is original. There's some that's we got a few
no,
subscriptions.
but with loops and stuff.
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
Fuck yeah. But
But even
Yeah,
hip hop's all about that.
at the moment I'm sort of Ramones era, so, and touching on, it's getting to Dead Kennedys, and the very early stages of what we would classify as punk now, but it's that transition period that I'm sort of in between. But
It was punk then. I think there was a magazine.
There was.
called Punk
and
or whatever.
but
Labeled
this is
them that, and they
this is
hated
the-
it, didn't they?
This is the muddy water side of it, right? Because it
Oh, he's blues.
you picked up on the fucking reference, but this is where
I just think of Redman when I hear that
He
shit.
was
Yeah.
that actually Muddy Waters' song "Rolling Stone" is where the Rolling Stones got the name from.
it was. Now, did you
And it
know?
all is just like
Did you know
this-
that a lot of his music and his style of music has been a or reference point for a lot of these bands that I'm referring to, right? But the muddy water side of it and the grey area that you would refer to is, where does punk take off? Where does rock end? Where does alternative rock finish or start and transition? Where does grunge take over? And
I think that's the biggest thing in any mod music is like there's so many fucking
there is
genres
so
out
many
there.
genres, man. And what I appreciate and what I love in people is their ability to listen to a broad range of it and just go, look, I like music, like you boys, and this is why we all gravitate towards each other and why we get along so well, even though Dave in his older age has become a bit of a hip hop snob.
I don't even think it's
all music snob.
snob.
Yeah,
I can't keep hearing the same metal and the same hip hop again and be like,
because he hasn't heard Kublai Khan. That's why.
Oh, look, yeah. So,
I've heard of Vinny Paz and Jedi Mind Tricks have a song called Kublai Khan, don't they?
well, yeah,
I
cool.
don't know, actually, maybe.
But anyway, look,
Kublai Khan.
you talk about these splitting the genres, right? And when do they start and end? It's ambiguous, right?
Well, you can't.
Black Sabbath, they talk about you invented metal. It's like we're only rock and roll, man.
Yeah.
Like Motorhead, they said, "Oh, are you guys speed punk or metal or what are you guys?" And they're like, "We're just rock and roll."
Well, you look at
those transitional bands aren't trying to be anything.
No.
You know what I mean?
You look at the Ramones,
and that's where it comes from.
Look, like the Ramones. If you listen to them, a lot of people who would claim that they're punk through and through, might listen to the Ramones and go, "Oh, that's like Grease rock," So that Grease
surf.
That's style
surf
rock. But Joey Ramone and the Ramones, like, went off a completely different branch of their own, and that's what I'm interested in, is going back and looking through that history and the roots of all that music, and getting through. So, leading back to Nirvana and where it relates to Batman, but yeah, that for us in our generation, hearing that track in that movie, very clever, I think, because it
represents.
It was fucking
Batman.
awesome, man. I did not expect it.
Yeah.
Did not expect
Batman's a 90s kid in this movie.
Yeah,
he's a 90s kid. He's depressed.
Yep.
And he's the 90s kid depressed. What's he going to listen to?
Yeah.
So whenever it's him, I reckon when it's his inner monologue. And
Hey,
when that's
Brucey.
happening,
Welcome to the family, champ.
that's right. Yeah.
But
Bruce Wayne, man.
that's what I mean. Very, very clever. And look, I'm going to say I was, and it's not fair that he has been labelled or stuck with that Twilight level.
He's done so
Life
much
is
in
a
between
fair
there.
since then.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
not.
yeah, and here's I'm sure he can cry into his millions and millions from Twilight movies and fucking figures and posters and fucking albums, which he actually sings on a couple of the Twilight albums. You know that?
There you go.
He's
I knew he was a
very
musician.
good musician. He was a rapper when he was young.
There you go.
I think he personally made rap songs. Robert Pattinson is a fucking
Very talented individual.
what is with me today? But he is very deep. He's also very deep in the Batman lore. But
Pattinson.
when Twilight came out, I gave it a chance. Mm-hmm. I was into Buffy.
Hang on. I've got
Buffy
a
guy.
problem here. I've got a problem. You got
many problems.
I
Go
know
on.
I do. But you gave Twilight a chance and not Harry Potter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
concerning.
Yeah. So I wasn't into the whole... Because I was older than Harry Potter, right? So I didn't want to go and look at a load of kids. Yeah. And then with
No, but you would have
with Twilight, they were
so
older
you're only
than
a
me.
year older than me. So when Harry Potter first came out, I was in year 6. So you would have just... Huh?
01?
No, before then.
Yeah, I was watching
99.
heaps better shit than Harry Potter when I was...
I was in
fucking
year 7 in
13, 14 or something.
Yeah, well, you were a few years older.
I was trying to finger fuck people and listening to Metallica and shit. I'm not fucking watching some fucking Hufflepuff shit.
I was
To be honest,
And I didn't mean Hufflepuff that way. I
was-
meant like...
Let's be
Hufflepuff,
honest.
Gryffindor,
Let's be
Slytherin
honest.
shit.
The worst
Finger
thing
in-
that Yatesy and I were
shh.
getting up to was trying to skip school to go to Yankees drop. Right, that was what.
Yeah, let's skip
Yankees
school
drop
and watch
is
some Harry
serious.
Potter, Yatesy.
No, we're going down and jump off.
Finger and things is pretty up there on priority list.
Well,
Yeah,
as
when you're 14, you're like, what am I going to do? How am I
yeah.
going to finger this girl? You're not thinking about, oh my God, is Harry going to be fucking...
Going to the movies was like,
is the
I'm
boy
gonna
who
finger
lived
this
going to
shit.
continue to live? No one cares.
Remember they had.
But it was just, I just missed it and I appreciate it. And I have watched a little bit of it.
I was only
My
having a-
little
I was
brother,
having a dig,
it was his jam.
Yeah.
It was his jam.
Yep. No,
Wait,
it
how
was
good was
just,
Yankees drop though? Just quietly.
Man, how good was wagon school and just running across the paddock to Yankees drop?
We spoke. Yeah, but none of us. Yeah, I didn't really wag until the end of year 12.
I got into trouble a little bit because it would be a stinking hot day.
Denali Bridge, underneath Denali Bridge, make a little Billy, 4 of us. And
No,
then
we
we would walk to the Heights
So
shops,
we went to-
get something to eat. Yeah.
Our primary school was literally just a paddock away from Yankees Drop, which was, I think you've been out there maybe. Well, it was a swimming hole that everyone went to where you jump off the cliff. Yeah. Jump off the cliff.
Country bumpkins.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a Yankee Drop.
It's a bit of a local legend, but we would fucking...
We would go there of an evening.
Yeah, no, during the day. Yeah, mate. Listen,
of an afternoon.
Listen, mate, what are you doing?
Do you know what?
We'll fucking come around. We'll go to Yankees Drop for a day, you know, and we'll go and have a few fucking dinners down there.
We're probably past the time for heat wise now, but I feel like we should probably go to Yankees Drop.
We can do,
in
mate.
the near future.
We can.
I feel like that should be a thing.
So,
can you still climb it? Is it still like climbable?
Yes, there's still a struggle there because that's privately owned
Hold
property.
on, is this a high place that you have to jump
15
off?
metres
Oh
up.
yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, I can't make it. Can't make it. Doing my hair.
You
No, hang
can
on.
make it.
Except I'll come and watch. I'll be the camera guy.
It's good fun.
That's
It's
fine.
something that you got to do.
I
once,
can't
but-
go up high.
Yeah,
I'll watch you. So.
Yeah, Yatesy and I used to fucking leave primary school, and a couple of times we ran down there. When I say we always used to, yeah, a few times we ran down there, and we'd go for a swim and then come back, you know. And
You just
The water is cold.
experiment and
no,
find each other.
man, I'm talking like peak summer, and we were at
And
primary
it's
school.
still cold.
No,
Yeah.
you're just a pussy,
Hey guys, we don't want a big
I'm a
argument about
pussy.
this, all right?
pussy.
Bussy. Get it right.
Grab a bucket and
What I'm going to say,
For this wet ass bussy.
Reese, you as the host, I'm going to request. Are we able to have another quick piddle break?
Would you like to whiz?
That, and I just need another stretch here.
Okay, we can welcome back to another fucking piss break from the boys. Little piss fart. Can't get better than no piss fart.
Piss
So,
and stretch
look,
break.
we've talked a lot of shit about some Batman tonight. A lot
Yeah.
of
finish it off with our out of
History.
10s, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I'm
rate it?
interested-
Do you wanna
I
rate
could
it?
be on that. Yeah,
So hang on,
yeah,
the
yeah,
first-
Let's
I'm
rate
interested-
that shit.
First off, because you had only watched it the first time that we spoke about this when you gave it a 9 out of 10, hadn't you, Dave?
That's true. Yeah. And actually, do you know what? After watching that back, I did not even give a number. So
You didn't. Dave, what was your?
I'll go first because I've already given mine. I'm
Yep.
going to stick to a 9 out of 10.
Yep.
I have deducted 2 half points.
yeah, you didn't tell us why though. So
Yeah,
I'm interested
so-
to hear why.
I didn't like the Bat and Catwoman at the end riding motorcycles back and forward. I get it because they're supposed to be a kind of a.
Yeah, that was some Fast and
that-
Furious shit. That was.
I was like, what? Like, why? I just and
I was waiting
I
for.
hate to
It's
give
been
half a point
a
for that.
long day
Yeah, like,
without you,
I
my
was like,
friend.
nah,
Family,
nah.
family.
You lose half a point for ruining a near fucking great movie for
Yep.
me. Okay, and the other half a point was for the Joker. I didn't think it needed to be in there.
Okay.
I think if it had to be in there, it could have been in a post-credit scene
Okay.
Yep.
or something like that.
Do you think
I
it could have
was
been maybe
shoehorned
even
in
a
there
letter?
and it wasn't done right?
Do you think it
What?
could have been maybe even like a letter to, and I'm talking post credit scene or in the credits. It could have been not even him, but a letter,
I'd like
a written letter to the Riddler from the Joker, in a sense.
like a kite.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
in jail. In jail you
Yeah.
get kites, so they pull across the messaging. Something like that, and they'll be like, hey, like riddle me this, and then give the riddle, and it's like friend. And then when he goes friend, maybe then you could hear the
Now-
laugh
Hang on.
or whatever.
Even and we didn't allude to this. We didn't get to talking about it. We alluded to it, but this was the website.
Yeah,
Right.
rada ladder. Yeah.
Yeah. So as we were saying before, at the credits that Dave was angry about because they kicked him out. There was a website that you could go to, and there was
Pigeon
a
Wings.
countdown. What was that?
Pigeon
It was the
Wings.
URL. It was the URL from the movie.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
URL from the movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, but they actually put it up online so you could go to it, and there was a countdown to it, and you could go to it. They could have even alluded to that to draw people further into
Could have
going.
had the trailer play. At
And
that,
if you
like,
go there
and I
now-
still- yeah.
You've missed out. The countdown's done.
It is done.
Yeah, it's done. Now all you're going to get is a zip
file with a bunch of photos.
Yeah,
But
before the download, though, I do think they're going to keep using that website to keep filtering more stuff out. But before the download, it would give a bigger loading screen before the countdown, I should say, and it would give all these weird dates, and all those dates coincided with the Riddler's first episode, Batman's first episode, Gordon's first episode, and comic book debut, and then the Penguin, fucking all these people. All the people that were in the movie except for one, which was Harvey Dent. They gave Harvey Dent's origin.
Yep.
And I wonder if that's like a sneak nod to this is his origin. They killed the DA.
Yep.
And now there's a spot for the DA.
yeah,
So, but like, I think they're going to use that website to keep doing more marketing for not just the movies, but the TV shows that come out that are attributed to
I
this.
think there was a
Sorry,
missed
Reeds, I cut you off there as well.
I think there was a missed opportunity there to use that, and instead of having a whole scene in there with the Joker's introduction, they could have.
I just didn't think it was.
yeah, it wasn't necessary.
I'm with you. I felt.
But at the same time, I feel like I can't take too much away from the movie from that. But I think a 9 out of 10's fair. I think it's fair.
Oh, bro, 100% it's fair.
And decent. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think you could go lazy 8, hard 9. But I wouldn't.
To be honest,
give it an 8. I feel like it's
I
better
would
than
I would say 8 to 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, why do you bring it down?
Honestly,
Is it general feel?
General feel, and honestly, like the Joker thing was predictable.
Yep.
100%. I'm on board with you there. I guess the wanting for me to follow on from the Joker that's already been made.
Yep.
And because it alluded to the Joker being in the next one.
Yep.
That's the point for me that I'm like, and it's hard because obviously people are like, this is a standalone out of the DC universe thing, but
An alternate universe.
yeah, considering the succession that Joker was only not even 2 years ago, now this, it's hard not to have that preconception that they're going to be linked, but
Yep.
Yeah. And that's because they were the two out of the box DC movies, and they were both steeped in reality, and they were taken so.
They're filmed very
seriously.
similarly, man. Like it's just
they weren't bubblegum Marvel movies.
No.
You know what I mean? These were fucking
great.
harsh acting shit. Like even and I put the Joker still on a different level of acting than I even would the Batman. Like, and the Batman's great. The Riddler's great. He's a fantastic actor of
100%.
insanity, but Joaquin Phoenix's singular performance as the Joker, like it's hard, you know what I mean? That it was just beautiful, and they're currently making the second one now.
Yep.
as much as I can enjoy.
So you will see Joaquin Phoenix again.
Yeah, as much as I can enjoy the way that Robert Pattinson played Batman, to me, it's easy for him to play a majority Batman part because he doesn't have to talk much. It's more about his actions, and I agree with you on the way of like his eyes and and everything. The way the movie was filmed, like the lighting and everything, the way the movie was made is fucking epic.
Yep. You love Seven? Did you
do.
see the Seven?
Yeah,
Did you
100%.
see the Seven? The inspiration from David
And it's funny
Fincher's
because
Seven
even
and
only
Zodiac?
today, I was talking to our mate Lucas about what we use to edit and record our podcasts and stuff, and Da Vinci is like a industry standard for movie making too.
Hence why it's
He
used.
showed me this afternoon, literally a fucking instructional video about how to make Batman lighting.
Stylized lighting. Yeah.
Yeah. So like the way the Batman was filmed and everything was fucking 100%.
And look, I bringing it back to another TV series, right? And it was a fantastic TV series that the last season was destroyed, but Game of Thrones and one of the most
I've only watched the first 2
criticized.
seasons.
Well, one of the most
Oh man, the
criticized
second, third,
episodes.
and fourth season of Game of Thrones are the best.
but-
Keep watching, Reese. Keep watching. And even towards the end, it's still good. It is
Still good. The most criticized
rushed the
episode
fuck out
though
of it.
is the battle with the undead, where it is so dark.
Haven't
and I
seen
think-
the Red Wedding either.
Oh man, don't even ruin it for him.
I'm not going to.
Oh, that could be
but
a
I'm referring to
rewatch of Game of Thrones.
It could be. But I'm referring to
something
the
we could do.
darkness of that episode with the battle of
Yeah,
the witch
it was
of
too dark.
the king. It was too dark,
The
and I feel
Dothrakis.
if they had have done it in this style of this Batman, would have been mint. That episode would have been much better, and because it wasn't dark to the point where you were sitting there going, "I can't see a damn fucking thing," which you were with that Game of Thrones episode.
Yeah.
But it gave off the illusion and the feel that it needed to. So
But Reese, you're 8.
Yeah, I reckon a solid 8 out of
Not
10.
even an 8.5. Can we move you to 8.5?
Look, 8 point. Yeah, I would
He
say.
said 8
yes.
and 9. We'll give him 8.
I said 8 to 9.
okay,
Yeah.
8 to 9. Right, I'm going to, and this is a very broad spectrum 8 as well, for the reason that I've mentioned before that I intend to go back and watch it again in cinemas because, and it was nothing that you boys did. It was just me picking up on things that you said and my preconceived perception of that movie walking in there. So mine is a very variable 8 because I'm going to go back and see it again, and that I can guarantee you that'll probably move higher because there's certain things in there that I want to take note of, certain things that we've spoken about tonight, but as well as those little Easter eggs or those that hidden dialogue or things that once you know what the end result is, and you can
The
go back and
peripherals,
that's
mate.
right, yeah,
You'll
yeah,
see it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's an 8 for me based off that because I want that extra 2 points to move.
What's the 10? Does anyone have a 10?
10 for me, and that's why I want those extra 2 points because I'd almost be willing to give it a 10 minus that.
I don't have a 10.
Look, I could look past that point that you were making and I could see it because, and that's why that It's Been a Long Day came out because that motorbike scene, I was expecting them to pull
I
up.
just felt like, what are they doing?
Well, I was expecting them to pull up and then
Pretty
see the
much, if you
visors
follow
lift
Top
and
Gun.
there's fucking Vin Diesel going, family,
You
like.
froze for a sec. I think that's why Reese jumped in to talk.
Okay,
I
so I was expecting them to, at the end of that motorbike when they hit the crossroads, I was waiting for the visors to lift and fucking Vin Diesel, and I hope this becomes a meme. Vin Diesel to be fucking under the visor going, family, or something like that. Like, it was just very corny.
Batman would be like, I have no family.
Yeah.
Pretty much the way I feel is if you were to follow something like Top Gun, you get a 10 out of 10.
Top Gun is an easy 6 out of 10 movie. Easy 6 out of 10 movie.
Look, when you say what is
That's
a 10,
above average though, right?
what is a 10?
Above 5.
I get told that a lot.
I don't have a 10. I can't even
say
think of a 10 movie.
I don't know that I've seen a 10. I've seen
Shawshank
some.
Redemption.
Yeah, look, it was a powerful movie. As far as a 10, to give something,
I don't
to
like
give
the
something
love scene that we didn't get to see between Andy and the girls.
Okay.
To give something a perfect rating, I think that's
You can't give anything a perfect
you can't
rating.
give anything a perfect rating because
That's what I mean. That's
Except
why I
for
always
Top Gun.
try and take from it.
yeah, you've got to. There's
Except
got to
for
be
what?
something that you
Except for
want.
Top Gun.
Except for
Seven's a good one. Seven's a great
it
movie.
is.
Seven's a great
what can
movie.
what can you take away from 7? It's stylized,
Well,
same as Batman.
I don't know what's in the box.
Yeah, you do.
Now that I've watched it.
But see, this is the thing.
That's
I
what's
would-
beautiful. But that's 7 had a better ending.
True.
That's my problem with Batman is the ending.
Yep.
I just don't think they stuck the landing. I don't think they ruined it. I was just like, whoa, yeah, but whoa, yeah. And I look back on the movie and I think it's great. I just don't think they ended it on a
high note.
on a pedestal or
Yep.
whatever. On a high note. I just
Yeah.
don't, I think they
You know
could've-
what? I agree with you.
That's the only thing, and for that they get the point taken away from them.
And look,
And even the things I didn't like, I have excuses like that why I should. Like They were very... I love that they didn't have a Catwoman and Batman fucking sex scene.
Yeah.
That they were in their
man.
fucking masks and shit.
I
would be like fucking
thought
great.
it was getting
They
there. Yeah.
So did I.
Oh, man. What I loved about it, when she put her hand on his face and he was like that, you could tell like that.
He wasn't interested.
No, he was interested, but he is just someone who's so broken.
Yep.
That just when someone put their hand on his cheek, he kind of had to turn away from it because he wasn't ready for it.
Yep.
Yeah.
He wasn't prepared for it, and I think that was brilliant.
Yes.
And it was subtle.
Yeah,
And
because
even the
it
little-
alluded
I
to that it was going to happen, but then it didn't. And
Yeah,
it was great. that
but it was
didn't.
like there's something between us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a connection and there's chemistry. I hated that she kissed
you
him
reckon-
when he was
do you reckon
knocked out on the fucking...
Yeah.
Remember when he was knocked out, with the Riddler henchman knocked him out, and he was there and she was like, it's okay, and she kissed his dead body. I'm like, if he'd have done that to her, that's rape. That is fucking rape. That's some Bill Cosby sleep rape shit. But anyway...
You don't
but
know
hang
that
on,
she didn't whisper that she does.
But I'm glad they did that motorbike thing instead of giving them a weird sex scene.
Yeah. Look,
You know what I mean? So I'm happy with
I don't
that.
know. I probably would have
agree.
preferred a weird sex scene over the.
No.
It depends.
I would have
It depends.
preferred.
Zoe Kravitz's sex scene could be okay to watch, but I hate sex scenes in all movies. I'm not gonna lie, unless they're funny or outlandish in some way. I hate them. I hate like the cuts between
That's why you
heaving
hate Top
bodies
Gun.
and sweat beads. I prefer the hot shot sex scene than the Top Gun one when they pop the olive out of her belly and he catches it. Oh,
With
man.
the diving board scene when she fucking
Do
does
you,
Yeah.
do you not understand? Like getting your breath taken away.
it. Yeah. Look, I'm.
Down, 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 down.
Now.
Great soundtrack. I'm telling you, there's some epic parts in Top Gun. It's just a shit movie. Go on, continue. It's not shit. It's not shit. It's not shit. It's just not good.
Look, I'm gonna. As I said, mine's gonna be an 8, and I don't anticipate it going all the way.
You're
to
a
10.
bunch of haters.
I'm gonna
The
say.
haters.
I'm gonna say 9.5.
Haters for the haters.
Right. 9.5 for the same reason that
Oh, ho, ho, ho. Did you go 9.5?
no,
did.
I'm anticipating that it will go 9.5. Right. After I watch it again.
That's big. That's big.
It is. Now I'm going to deduct, and this is in without watching it a second time. I agree with you in the fact that the corny motorbike scene.
Yep.
That's not for me, but that doesn't mean that they haven't appealed to other people who do want that closure or do want that scene. I know Rin did.
Don't be that guy.
What?
No,
But Batman and Catwoman are like
I don't want to
They
know
do,
what you think
know
is
what I mean?
accommodating to other people. I want to know what you think.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm getting to, right? So I haven't given a 9.5 yet. I'm an 8, anticipating it will go to 9.5 because I want to see those extra things. One of those things being the music score that you guys were alluding to, like the Darth Vader style music.
I don't think that could bring it up, though.
No.
I think that makes
but
it
it's
interesting.
Those,
But
it's
I don't
those
think
little
you can...
subtle things that I want to see again. It's that hidden dialogue that I missed because I was too
I've got
focused
something
on
you want to
something
see
else.
again.
Again?
Yeah, I've seen his dick.
You saw him at
Hold
my
on,
dick.
we talk about dicks?
Yeah, apparently.
The first, it was.
Vinno's mind's in the gutter, eh?
Mate,
It's weird. Looking.
You've
up,
drunk
thinks
beer out
someone
of my
did.
fucking ball sack, so you know it was
It's
pretty.
true. I have.
Um,
That's friendship.
so yeah, look, I want to
definitely
go
something.
back and just confirm a few things that I've already got, maybe preconceived in my head from watching it the first time. That I sort of walked out of there and went, "Oh, could this relate to that?" But watching it the second time will be that confirmation, or I can make those links. And a lot of it is to do with the Riddler and the way he acts early on as to way he acts later on.
Recognizing like that everything matches up.
That's
Well, what
right.
he's
and
trying
that's
to
what I
get
mean.
Batman to do.
That inner story, you know.
And the fact that
Yeah.
he thinks Batman would like him and is on his side.
Yep. And see,
So he's trying to... Yeah,
I'll
oh,
admit,
man, I love it.
missed that to start with because, like,
Well,
I
no, you
understood-
don't get to even think that at the start.
No,
Yeah,
you
but
don't.
I
You don't.
understood that scene where he went, you know, where he was frustrated that Batman wasn't on his side. You know, thinking that him going to Arkham was Batman agreeing with him and saying, "Yeah, I've seen all of the evidence, and I'm here because I don't want to be caught up in that." Right? But
Well, why wouldn't he?
That's-
Because the Riddler's taken out people that Batman would want to take out.
Yep.
He's taken out corrupt people. He's taken out bad people.
Yep.
And he's doing it with controlled violence. Now, of
He
course,
is.
then he goes to kill Bruce Wayne, who is an innocent
Yeah.
in the whole situation, and then he destroys Gotham. Which to me, that's
He's
another reason
almost
why
a
I was...
vigilante. in a way.
He is, but then he ruins it by going after an innocent person in Bruce Wayne and then destroying the whole city.
But that,
if he hadn't done those two things,
but he only goes after Bruce Wayne because of his dad's
He takes away that innocence.
But
from,
that's right.
Yeah,
but I don't think you can blame someone for the sins of the father.
No, you can't. But that is throughout history. That's an old saying, sins of our fathers.
But you shouldn't.
But that's why
morally you shouldn't.
You shouldn't.
That's where he morally loses ground. You know what I mean?
Yes. And that's where his breaking point is, I think. I think, and this is why I want to, and this is what I mean about preconceived ideas about the movie. Up until that point where the attack is made on Bruce Wayne and Alfred is hurt in that hospital scene, I think you can see in Batman there is a crossroads within him because he's starting to view things from the Riddler's point of view. But he's at the same time, he knows that this guy's a criminal and he's been killing people, which is against his code of ethics, you could say. And then that moment where the attempt is made on Bruce Wayne's life and Alfred is hurt, that's where he draws the line and says, right, this is not it. So that's
when he changes, right?
That's right.
I mean, before that, I don't care if I live or die. I don't think this is
and that's
working.
what I mean.
And then Alfred's nearly taken away and he finds his humanity in himself.
And that's what I mean. He's relating. He's relating to the Riddler and the Riddler's way of doing things. He might not understand that he is the tool in the Riddler's plan.
It's simple though.
He is relating to him, and that's what I mean by the crossroads at that point. And that's why I want to go back, even though it is a preconceived idea that I might have about that movie after going back and thinking about it. I would like to give it a 9.5 or even a 9 and step it up 1 point or even a 1.5. I want to go back.
9.5 would be crazy. 8 is crazy too.
Yeah, it
9.5 is like Oscars and...
Yeah, so I'm...
Maybe you're right. You know what? I said 9.
For myself...
That's pretty high for me, to be honest.
For myself, I need to go back and see it. Yeah. And I need to see it, I think, in cinemas to get a full appreciation and to focus on the things that I would like to. Which...
It's simple.
And this is what I enjoy about this movie is I haven't done or haven't wanted to go back and see a movie so quickly as much as I have since... a few movies that I have done that is Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Oh,
movies.
that could be an episode.
It could be. And then Christian Bale's Batman. Specifically number 2 with
actually,
Heath Ledger.
you know what? I need to watch Batman Begins again.
Yeah.
Batman Begins to me is fucking. But that's annoying to me.
There hasn't been a lot of movies where I have walked out of that cinema and gone, I want to turn around and walk back in there and go and watch it again. You know, see the
it's
next
basically
viewing.
just a huge eye opener to, if it's not addressed to you, don't open it.
That's very easy to focus. Now, look, I said to you guys, moving away from Batman.
Wait. One last Batman tidbit.
Go for it.
Do you remember Commissioner Savage in it? Who had the rats go into his face?
Yes.
Have you ever seen the TV show Chernobyl?
No, I haven't watched it. I've been told to watch it.
About the Chernobyl disaster?
Yeah, no, I've been told to watch it.
That's one of the best TV shows ever.
Yeah.
It's only a mini-series. I think it's like 4 or 5 episodes that are an hour and a half long. Mm-hmm. And it's about the Chernobyl fucking disaster.
Yep.
Fantastic. But either way, they had to send miners down there. Ukrainian miners down there to try and dig and sort this stuff up. And they go down there naked. The tidbit was just that he is the naked miner who walks back up. And they're like, well, aren't you wearing all your protective gear? He's like, it's fucking so hot down there. And you're like, and that's the moment where you're like, all these fucking dudes are going to die of radiation poison. Yeah. But look, watch Chernobyl, everybody. Yeah. Spoilers, but watch Chernobyl.
Oh, look,
this whole episode's been a spoiler.
A bloke from work was telling me about because he was watching it as they were coming out. And he was like, dude, you got to watch it.
Yeah.
And at the time, I think I was watching Peaky Blinders, trying to catch up on that. So. But I never got around to it.
You know what? I haven't even watched one whole episode of Peaky Blinders. I have to. I know.
I need to watch it. Don't worry. I'm in the same boat as you.
Sam Neill in the early
Peaky Blinders.
Good.
I'm really pissed.
Sam Neill's in there.
Right. Early episodes.
Then Tom Hardy comes into it. And
yeah, dude.
Well, I love Cillian Murphy. Cillian Murphy.
Wait, do you know what? I'm sure there's plenty of girls that wish they could hear what you just said.
What was that?
Tom Hardy's come into it.
Oh man, Tom Hardy.
What a man.
He
filthy
plays a
cunt.
fantastic fucking role in that. Really good role.
Isn't he like a Jewish gangster in it or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And see, Sam Neill is a copper, like a borderline corrupt copper.
Yeah.
But man, it is a good series.
Coppers.
Punch him
Well,
in the
here, I'm
face.
sorry I interrupted you. I'm
No,
sorry
no,
I
no.
interrupted you, Vinno.
You're still
This
a
is
copper
now
and a
officially.
guy.
So what I was alluding
This is the
to,
end. This is the end of the Batman
this is what
discussion.
What I
And
wanted
now
to finish
Vinno.
off with.
We're
right.
3 hours in, boys.
So a lot of
Yeah,
the topics that are touched on within Batman have recently been. When I say recently, I'll talk about today with myself and one of my brothers, right? Because last night where I live, there's been a bit of a crime spree where
Really?
houses and cars were broken into out at my parents' place, which is, mind you, 30 k's out of town.
It's Bill the Bumfuck.
There was a car chase. With
You're messing with people with guns on that property now,
Man,
motherfuckers.
now one of those people being Yatesy and Yatesy's old man. Now these are two motherfuckers that I would not mess with, just because they're awesome blokes. But if you get on the wrong side of them, they'll fuck you up, right? And I suppose that one of the things that I was talking to my brother about, and we were trying to make sense of why all of this theft and all that has come to light and why it's been so prevalent at the moment. So a workmate of mine had 2 of her cars stolen, both cars. They broke into her house, walked into her house, grabbed their keys and stole their cars,
Okay.
right? So when I say broke in, yes, the door was unlocked, but they're in a pretty good town.
Remote.
Yep. And not one that sort of happens all the time.
You must know where the keys are. if you
Well,
break.
they've
Were they in
gone-
the house?
Yeah.
They were in the
Yes,
house with the
yeah.
door closed, right? They've got a young kid. They went in, got the keys, stole the cars, and then this sort of theft and this sort of crime that's been happening lately is,
Batman.
well, it relates to that in the sense that at the moment in Australia and around the world, the economy is struggling with inflation, fuel prices, and those sorts of things. And people are starting to get desperate.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, people are getting.
What do you mean you love it?
I'm joking.
He's joking.
I want to pay more for fuel and food and rent.
Man,
But
I literally filled my car this afternoon. And
Yeah.
I usually put 98 in my car.
Yep.
I didn't today. I put 95 in.
Mhm.
It was still $120.
Yep.
Is that both? Did you fill both of your things?
No, this is just his
wasn't
little
in-
car.
this
This
wasn't
wasn't
in my
his
February,
cruiser.
bro.
This wasn't his patrol.
This was in my 4-cylinder Subaru.
Yeah. But this is what I'm alluding to, and this
Well,
is.
why you put E10 in it? Stop playing around. Put some E10 in that.
I
bitch.
don't get the kilometers, bro.
Yeah, you
don't.
don't.
The
Gotta
difference.
pay for them kilometers.
The difference is considerably noticeable, man.
Yeah.
Like
So you
98,
get-
I'll
so-
get 700 k's
hang
out
on.
of a tank. If I put E10 in, it's like 500.
So
Like,
you're
literally,
You're on a good wage. You earn some good money, Reese. Like
yeah.
So-
no.
And I'm not trying to take away from that, but you are feeling the effects of it. You are seeing the effects of it, right?
It's taken
and-
me 35 years to get to this point.
Yeah, but this is what Jesse and
I've
I
been
were-
poor. There's no
Ah,
denying that, bro. I've
fucking
been
oath.
poor.
We've been
I
apprentices.
know.
But this is the worst that we've seen in our generation, and this is what my brother and I were talking about this afternoon. Is
It's fucking insane, dude.
it's become more prevalent about the crime just in our area, and it's not violence, it's theft. You know, people stealing things, people stealing fuel, holding up places and stuff like that. And the only thing we can put it down to, well, when we stepped back and looked at it and had a bit of a chat about it, was the inflation and people struggling, and a lot of the
House
people,
prices.
man. Well, even like
It's nearly impossible
So
if
this
you're
is
a
something
new
that
person.
he-
It's so high to buy a house.
Absolutely.
Right, I've pretty much accepted I'm never going to own a house.
well he
That might even be the smartest thing to do.
Yeah.
Not even joking. To rent forever.
well even
Really?
and he didn't understand this my brother, and you guys probably will, as I did. Because I said there's every chance that they are knocking things off just to sell things to buy their cigarette. Now, anyone that hasn't been addicted to cigarettes or any other drug or anything like that might look at it and go, you don't have to have that. But
Addiction's a serious thing.
addiction is a serious thing. And for
Addicts know that they
yeah,
don't need what they have.
and even though I was
so
only addicted
I
to
hate that when people are like, you don't need that. It's like, I fucking know,
Yeah.
motherfucker. Addicts know more than you
Yeah.
about how much they don't need something and how much something's destroying them. They know.
fucking oath. And this is
They're
where
not idiots.
and he wasn't being disrespectful. He just didn't understand that being addicted to cigarettes is just as bad, and it's very physical addiction.
But do you think that that's where it
I
is?
don't think that's the sole reason. I think that people are struggling at the moment. People are getting desperate, and when people are put in desperate situations, they will go to measures that they're not normally attuned
Extremes.
to. They will go to extremes. Yeah, they will do things that wouldn't normally do. And that, when we said we were going to talk about Batman tonight, and after that discussion with him this afternoon, it sort of, I sort of went, well, that's a pretty hot topic in the last few Batman series about desperation and people that have been brought down to their lowest level and extremes, and that is why you see a lot of the things that you do. And we're all in this together in the sense that yes,
well, I mean,
people
yes
are
and
struggling
no, because there is a class.
there is a
action.
class, absolutely, man. But you don't get anywhere from stealing from the people that are there with you. Now, you don't know. So,
But in all seriousness, if I lived next door to you,
Yep.
and had never spoken to you,
how would you know? How would you know what
Exactly.
struggles I'm going through, right? So,
exactly.
if I come into your area and I steal from you, how do I know that? Let's use a lawnmower specifically, right?
Oh, you trying to hurt my feelings?
No. So let's just say, Dave, you're on
You're
mute.
muted, Dave.
No one's stealing my lawnmower.
He's electric, motherfucker. But say someone broke
And that's
in.
another point. We'll
It
get to that
is.
in a minute.
But say someone worked their ass off and they saved their ass off, and they bought, say, something as simple as a lawnmower, and
When they're
somebody,
earning fuck all,
yes, and then somebody who just
borrows that mower.
yeah, and then that gets stolen by somebody who feels that they need it more, or that person owes
With their
something
real
to them.
shit.
Or they need
Yeah.
the money that it
Look,
costs.
somebody. Let's just say you've got something.
is
Something
going
as
to happen.
It's as simple as a lawnmower, and somebody breaks in, and that person's struggling. You don't know what their situation is, and it's very.
That's why I think it's good that in Australia we don't have the ability to shoot people
Yeah,
who come to your home.
yeah. Look, and I'll agree with that because
Dave.
Because
if someone's coming, half the time it's kids trying to steal booze out of your back fridge and shit like that. And,
there's people
little
that
bits to buy drugs.
it's people
and stuff.
that are struggling and are on
But
there.
This is going to get worse, everybody.
It is.
Because here's the problem. Automation's going to come in the next. It's came in and it's going to keep getting more prevalent. As soon as trucks begin to be automated on roads and stuff like that, and even in manufacturing jobs, you can see in the production industry, it's jobs are getting automated. So you're gonna have this issue coming in, and I think we need to have a universal basic income.
Yeah, I was about to say this is where UBI needs to come in.
It does.
I'm telling you, UBI is the only thing that it will not only help with that, with giving people a basic safety net, but there's people out there that are not built to work Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 jobs. There are people that are artists. There are people that are stay-at-home moms. There are people that are like you name it, that are just not right. And those people that cannot fit into our system become homeless. They become losers. They become thieves. They become, you name it.
Yep.
If you want to get rid of that, and if you want to put a value on people doing what they want to do, you have to bring in a UBI. And then all the jobs that need to be done, that's on top of that.
Yep.
So I'm not going to want to just live off a UBI. I'm going to want to have a job. Now that job is not going to have the same pull on me. It's not going to be able to force me to stay in it for a certain amount. It's not going to have the same power over me.
Yes.
But if I want extra, then I can go.
Yes.
But if I want,
it's not removing your choice to have more, but it's allowing you
choice not to work.
Yeah, but it's allowing you the basics to survive, and that's what I'm referring to with this. You know.
And you know what's funny is I was literally only talking about this afternoon.
Yeah, and that's
UBI.
No, or not so much UBI, but just like, just the fact of cost of living and fuel, and I mean that's part of.
Well, it was interesting
like,
because
houses, man.
Everything is just like, man, like.
It's crazy.
I've spent a majority of my life, right? Like I haven't given a fuck about work, haven't given a fuck about career. All I cared about was doing something creative that was enjoyable to me.
Yep.
It's only been in the last. It's not even 10 years yet.
5. I'd say 5.
Yeah, that's only really like, to me, has been a motivator for, working, making a career, earning a good wage, blah blah blah.
Not worrying about eating.
Yeah,
stuff. Isn't it a weird feeling not worrying about making it?
It's just, for me, it hasn't been an even thought in my mind until recent times. Like, and I do shift work. It's no fucking news to you guys. Like, you guys know that. But, like, I've been in the mindset that this is not something that I want to do for the rest of my life.
Yep.
But at the moment, I'm kind of in a
position where you have to. That's
right, because I enjoy the fact now. Like, it's taken me, like I said, I'm fucking 35 years old.
Yep. You're not old.
It's taken me to this point in my life to be in a position where I've earned what I earned, and I have the comfortability of, when I've got bills that need to be paid, or if I want to do something, then I can kind of just do that because I earn enough.
I'm going to,
without counting coppers.
Yeah, I don't need to go like, I don't need to go, I can't spend that this week because, I won't eat for another week if I don't do that. Yeah. I'm at a point where I can go, I'll just fucking do it, and that's great. But man, I've put in the yards and I've fucking worked hard to get to the position where I am. Yep. I'm proud of myself for that.
And mate, look, I'm going to say, look, I'm proud of where you were, say, 5 years ago, which is why I referenced that 5-year point from where you were then to where you are now. Now, might not be rich, and this is one of the best. One of my favorite Bob Marley. This is one of my favorite Bob Marley quotes, man. Like, do possessions make you rich? Mm-mm. Because you and I, and even Dave and all of us, have had some fucking awesome experiences. I mean, we've
absolutely
toured, we've played live shows, we've been in bands, we've experienced life. Okay, you don't need that money, you don't need all those possessions.
No, there's a way
to feel rich, to feel rich and fulfilled in life. However, some of the people that are really struggling haven't got, even a meal at the end of the day, and I'm not.
Yeah, and hey, I've been there.
I know you have, and that's what I mean. You can relate.
We can be proud of ourselves, be like, I worked hard and I got here.
Yep.
But there's luck too.
Yep.
Because there's people who work their fingers to the bone and have 2 jobs.
Yep.
Definitely.
And barely make it. You know
Absolutely.
What I mean? And that to me is where I feel like we've all fucking failed everybody.
And that's where we've got to fix that.
In a society, if you can have 2 fucking jobs and work your ass off and come home tired and barely pay the bills, then we failed.
See, that second job.
And you know what? The crazy thing is, man, like, I don't know if it's probably just part of getting older, but the more that I've earned, and the more life experience I've had, I don't need those things.
Yep.
I'm trying, like, as much. I would love to buy a house. I'm not a homeowner. You guys, like, and I implore the both of you. And the lifestyle that I've chosen has not given me money or whatever, and it gets harder. It's getting harder now to get into the market.
Yeah.
No excuses. Like I've got no. There's no excuses for the fact that I don't own a house, but
you don't need to make an excuse, mate. You don't need to justify with
also,
anybody.
I had help. Like,
yes,
I had my parents-in-law were guarantors for our first. See, we moved into a when I met Em, her parent, after Em's brother died, with the insurance money they put that down and bought a unit, and Em lived in that unit until they paid it off, and then me and Em bought that house, that unit, off her parents for basically as low as we could,
Yep.
and that got us in the market.
Yep.
And then when we got our house that we're in now, we had to sell that house in order to buy this one.
Yep.
And even still then, we were on guarantor.
Yep. And look,
So you need. I would be not if we didn't have those people helping us.
Yep.
And those lucky situations, and I work fucking hard, and I work shift work. You know what I mean? It's especially the last 2 years trying to buy a house. Oh,
it's ridiculous.
The
it's
last
ridiculous.
year in particular,
Yeah.
it's impossible.
fucking insane. It's insane.
And this is, Reese, you don't have to.
Unless you're just selling's great.
Yeah, but you've got to be in there to do that. But and Reese and
you got to buy a house.
anybody in this situation, you don't have to apologise to anybody, or justify your reasons to anybody for not owning a home. So what I'll refer to here, and when Reese says his lifestyle, I don't believe it's that. We've been young, we've lived life, right? From when we were apprentices, Reese and I have played in bands. We've been in the live music scene. We've gone and had fun. We've travelled around. We've met some fantastic people. We have lived what we wanted to, and we've done the things that we wanted to. And Dave, I'm specifically talking about Reese and I, just from being in that hardcore
I've travelled
scene.
the world.
Yeah, you have.
Know what I mean?
And you've got your own
set me
experiences.
back. Do you know what I mean? Leaving Australia
But
and
it
my
hasn't.
apprenticeship
It hasn't,
set me
because
for 2 years. Set me back. But again, it depends how you look at it.
That's
like
right,
Reece could
yeah.
say the lifestyle I choose. Me talking about the lifestyle I choose, whether it was traveling world, whatever it was.
it's that
But
perception.
ultimately, that's not the problem.
That's
the
right.
problem is that if you come to this country, what used to be is that you could be a blue collar person,
Yep.
and you could work if you gave a fair go,
Yep.
and you went to work and you gave it your all. Man, you were someone who could afford a home loan,
Absolutely.
and get a very decent house.
Yep.
But not anymore.
And that's
Not anymore.
and that's
just the truth.
That's the struggle that we face.
I've had a lot of shit jobs over the years, but like I've kind of always prided myself on being a hard worker, and I put in the effort, and I do work hard.
Yep.
And I make a solid point of trying to be the best at my job that I can be. Like,
Be productive.
Yeah, 100%.
And mate,
And
that's
Why can't
you. And this
he
is,
does that full-time shift work.
yep.
Yeah.
He should have a fucking double-decker house.
And this is the
If he was
the
back
discussion.
in the day,
Yeah, he would.
he would have been able to support another adult and kids who weren't working.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he would have had a picket fence, a great car. Like I'm telling you now, it's getting to the stage where if we don't get a UBI, you will see Vinno. You're gonna see those crimes spike. You're gonna see people getting desperate. You're gonna get people just disillusioned with
seeing
society.
it now.
Why
and
wouldn't they?
You look at and this Reese is what he's referred to now as a perfect example. How hard he has worked, and I'll use his situation and what he was referring to as a lifestyle. I don't see that as a bad thing, right? As a young person and as any human being, you've got to experience life. You've got that freedom, you've got that opportunity to go and do the things you want,
a
and
huge
it's
thing,
not,
man. Like,
it is
how
because
many people can sit there and say that they've played in a band,
Yep.
toured most of the country,
Yep.
been played on national radio.
Yep.
I've literally got friends in nearly every state in Australia.
Well,
Like,
and other countries, man. We've got friends that have been on Walking Dead. You know,
exactly.
in the Mongols, the TV series, you know, on which is the follow up from Sons of Anarchy, right? So the public, and this is trying to break down those stereotypes and the perception. This is where people get frustrated. And Reese, you alluded to it perfectly with feeling that you need to apologise for not having a house you don't need to. You don't need to apologise. You don't need to justify that with anybody. The work that you put in and the work that you have done is not a reflection on what you have to show for it, right? But what you do have is a very, very rich friendship base. You are loved by a lot of people. You have a lot of people that care for you, and you have a lot of memories and a lot of life experiences that you can pass on. Right?
Man, and this is no doubt. I've got memories that a lot of people just will not experience.
And see, that's where this frustration and this crime comes in.
I don't think he's apologising or unhappy with his life.
No.
I think that he's just saying that, well, I should still be able to fucking...
He should be able to. And this is... what I'm alluding to is the frustration with these recent crime sprees. And the frustration that people show is very much indicative of what Reese is referring to, where people have worked their asses off. They might have lost their jobs with the pandemic recently. And they're in a position now where they're desperate. And they're starting to turn to crime and theft and go down these avenues that they might not have had this events not have occurred. But it was just interesting to have this conversation with my brother, because never before in our lifetime have we had a conversation in regards to inflation and struggle for people to survive. Even the bare minimum. It is, and that was the concerning thing.
Fuel can only get more expensive, right? Because it's finite.
Yep.
There's only so much fuel the way we do it now, anyway.
Yep.
That we can take out of the ground.
Unless you use an electric lawnmower, which some of us don't.
I do. I'm doing my part. But do you know what I mean?
And I will say, some mean ass quads.
Hey, everybody, look.
Here's a picture right now.
Please,
now,
please put it in. Please.
But 320.
That's what she said.
The little lawnmower makes the legs look bigger, but regardless of that shit, the fact that we have a fuel, an economy, and just our normal lives are fueled by fossil fuels that we import, and we're dependent on other countries for petrol and oil. And whenever someone has a fart in Europe or in Russia or in Saudi Arabia or in anywhere in the world, boom. And it's going up not just because it's finite, but because of global supply chain issues. We have to become self-sufficient in everything we do. And in whatever way we do it, I think we have to move that way. And we have to become sustainable, because again, we can't, it's kicking the ball down the road.
Yeah. I think to start doing that, we need to become a republic.
Well, becoming a republic doesn't help anything, because I'm a republic guy. I want a republic.
Yeah.
But the Republic of Ireland is facing these problems. The Republic of China is facing these problems.
Our system of government at the specific time that we are talking is, I don't think you can change that. Or it's going to make a difference. It may be.
It's the people in government makes the difference, not the
That's
systems.
right. That's right. Yeah.
And we just don't have the willpower. The problem at the moment is that why the fuck would I want to move away from coal and petrol and all that? That's my job, and I have no other alternative right now.
Yes.
For that job. So we have whole communities.
And do you know what?
The town I love so well in Australia, Singleton, is based, and a lot of towns like that and these communities are based around these industries, and they're not going to just allow those industries to fail. That's
Yeah, but
mines, wines, and the army.
before that,
Okay.
mate, it was a farming area. It was beef. What? So at the moment,
But you can't have beef farm everywhere. You
No,
know what
you
I mean?
can't.
Like,
No, you
it has to
can't.
move around.
but at the moment, there's a town in one of the areas that we drive through, and it's been bought out by the mines. Walla, right? It's the name of the town. It's just outside of Mudgee. And it was a really, really nice little community, and it's recently just been shut down, essentially, by mining. Now, that was farming area. And, Mudgee has got wine area and all that sort of stuff. It's got a lot of industry that could potentially, or that thrives there. But a lot of it has been
But
taken
it's
over
not
by
going to
mining.
give these people the hourly rates that they've had at the mines.
No, it's not. And that's where that has driven, the wages and all those sorts of things and inflation, and to the point where people just can't afford, like people that are busting their asses can't afford to survive. And it's,
Do you know what?
it's
I'll tell
so
you.
sad to see.
I'll tell you. I was out at my old boys last weekend. I was around the fire.
I've seen LJ planes.
Yeah.
Beautiful
But-
place.
Of a night time, man, I'll tell you, like, and Hannah even said, she's like, I can't believe that you can sit there and you can literally tell me what the noise that we're hearing is.
It's trucks, dump trucks.
It's trucks. It's the first bucket from diggers.
Yep.
It's the dozers.
Mm.
Inside you probably wouldn't hear it, but like we were sitting outside by the fire.
Mm. Look, even at Mum and Dad's band, and Dave could probably, the last time Dave was at Mum and Dad's, I think was my 16th birthday, and we were out in the paddock there. Remember we camped down the
I
paddock?
was there.
Yeah, actually you were.
I was there.
Yeah, we're down the bottom there. But you couldn't see the mines at all. You couldn't see the glow of the
No.
mines. You went out there, now you can, right? But that's not the issue overall. And
What's after it?
yes.
What do we do after it's
That's-
empty?
What
What
that's
are
the
all
thing.
these people going to do
Our
who we're not taking care of?
our car industry's gone. Our
But
metal
that's-
industry's almost gone. We don't have.
People attack the Green New Deal. Okay,
Oh.
but they don't understand what it is. The Green New Deal, okay,
I agree.
actually it helps workers, because the Green New Deal is like, okay, if you're going to open a mine, if you're going to open something in this area, you have to make sure that when this is gone and you roll out a town, the people are taken care of.
Yep.
Not just reskilled, but compensated for the fact that people have and towns have dedicated their lives towards an industry that is happy to just see
and that
them
is
go
a
fuck
massive
themselves.
fear at the moment, and this is where
Huge.
that Green New Deal very much resonates with us. So recently, one of the power plants down the Central Coast. Well, do we want to have a quick?
No.
Right.
Keep going.
So one of the power plants down the Central Coast has recently announced that they will cease operations, and I drive coal trains, and we have had a contract to drive trains to this particular power station. Even though that's not the basis of our work, across the whole industry, the concern there is, what are we going to do after this? And that is what people are scared about, But if you're 2
It's-
years,
oh,
if
it's
you're
a
2 years
scary
from
thought.
retirement, it is, because if you're
It's
2 years from
scary as
retirement, right,
fuck.
you're not going to really care too much. You're going to retire in 2 years.
That's right.
But for us, we've still got 30 years working.
Are you going to keep your family in that town?
I can tell you right now.
Are you going to have a kid and a grandkid in
That's
that
right.
town?
Yeah, yeah.
And what
I-
the fuck
I-
are they going
and
to
that's
do?
the
I can
consent.
tell you right now that the mine site that I work at, I've got 15 years left.
Yep. Yeah. So now imagine.
I'm not
put
ready to
your-
retire.
Yeah. So now, if we put ourselves in the perspective of the people that are, and the ones I was talking about that are doing these breaking and enters, and I'm not excusing crime at all, right? But some of these people that are returning to this as an alternative or as a last resort are already in this situation that we're talking about. They have lost their jobs. They've lost their income. They're desperate. They're at the point where they see no
It's
other
extreme.
alternative. They are willing to go to jail. Yes, they are. It is extreme. They are willing to go to jail for the sake of supporting their families, and if that means stealing from somebody else, then they're
And
going
let's
to
be
do
honest,
that.
most of those people have heaps of kids.
And what do we do, Reese?
Oh, you can't.
Reese, what do we do?
Oh, you can't.
Oh.
Yes, some of them
How do we
do.
fix the problem?
How do we fix the problem?
Let's go back to our hierarchy of controls.
Yes.
Right now, PPE would be putting boards on our windows and bars on our windows and security cameers.
Not gonna
How
do
do
a
we
damn
eliminate the problem?
We go back to
problem
Viking
is-
times and let people kill each other.
That would be past PPE. That's beyond hierarchy of controls. How you stop it is you stop the need and you stop
Hang on,
putting people in.
Can we just? Well, I mean, we've been talking about Batman throughout this whole episode. Let's just relate Reese's
Tell me
comment
I'm
there.
wrong.
We haven't even learned. Reese hasn't even learned from
let's
Batman.
just
Tell
put
me I'm
Reese.
wrong.
Let's just put Reese back to the Joker's way of
Reese's still
thinking.
in the first
Yeah.
quarter of Batman. Reese's still vengeance right now.
Still gonna say,
Let's just-
tell me I'm
let's
wrong.
just
But
go
here,
back to Viking times.
Speaking of Reese, the host, what's going on here? We're fucking 3.5 hours going
Look,
on.
no.
here.
What I want to hear, Dave, is you finish saying what you were saying. You know, with the
I forget.
That's
What,
because
about
you
what?
know
About what?
that people
No,
should
no.
kill each other.
no. Before Reese interrupted with that, you know, people are at the going to the extremes.
Eliminate the problem.
Eliminate the
is
problem.
Not my house
Humans.
is robbed. My problem is not. Yeah, exactly. Press delete on
Humans.
humans. That's
Okay.
why you have to put AI. You have to put stops on AIs because you might tell artificial intelligence, hey, get rid of fucking spam emails. And they'd be like, spam emails. Spam
Humans.
emails get made by humans. Kill all humans.
Exactly.
You know, like and
Just get rid of
you know,
humans.
Joe Rogan, and I
The
hate
earth
to
will-
quote Joe Rogan.
Appreciate that.
We're bacteria. If
Yes.
you're looking at the earth,
Thank you. That
you
is
look
the
at the
greatest
Earth,
thing
cities
you've
as well.
ever said on Fireside Yarns. Humans are
And
bacteria.
we are.
We're a
If you were
plague.
to look at our cities from a fucking far on a planet, they look like these growths that
We're a
have
plague.
smoke coming out of them. Yeah. And what happens?
Humans are cancer.
The Jameson's coming out now.
Dave, yeah.
We are a cancer.
We're
we are a
fucking
type of
cancer, bro.
We're a growth, and you see natural disasters will put a tsunami in, and they'll put
Batman
knock it
could
down.
not. He can't stop humans.
And what
Dave,
happens?
I'm here for your conversation.
We grow again, and we grow again,
This
right?
motherfucker can't
We
even
can be
see
destructed,
straight.
and we come back.
Seriously, if the human race stopped today, the Earth would benefit. It's as simple as that.
But you know, but then what's the point?
Who cares?
Well, we probably care.
I mean, there's probably a few people who care.
We're saying
But-
who, but all of the people we could call a who would probably care.
I'm in the mindset that I'm happy to end my life for the benefit of the Earth.
Oh,
Whoa. And you would give up DJing.
Yes.
hang on, when you say that, you're talking about.
There's
Not-
no denial.
As
Yes.
long as it's all of us.
You're not talking about individualism.
Yeah.
You're talking about human race, right? Like you're willing for the
It would
whole
destroy
human
us all.
race just to go.
Every human race, every human has an individualism that needs to decide. Yes.
Anyway,
And on that
we're
note,
leaving-
everybody.
yeah, we're gonna bring it back. So
Wait,
what I was
this
saying,
has turned real dark. But hey,
Oh,
oi,
don't br-
what I
let's-
was
let's
referring to, and
finish
why I
it.
wanted to have
Yeah.
this conversation was a lot of the undertones that are in that Batman movie, which I realise, and it became throughout that conversation with my brother, was a realization. It was a real like, oh yeah, okay.
Listen,
for
Same
me,
with the Joker. Same with the Joker movie.
absolutely.
100%.
So that whole
it
universe,
makes
and that
you
whole-
understand. It makes you think like maybe that person isn't a shit cunt.
You
So-
empathise. You're empathising
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
the people that
Which
are.
is-
And do you
that
know
are
what?
committing these
The whole
crimes.
world can benefit from a bit of empathy.
They can absolutely.
I've stolen. I remember I've been out with my friends in Dublin, and we were only about 13, and we were out all night. And I remember walking into a petrol station and with no money, and my mate went up and distracted him, and I stole chocolate bars because I was hungry as fuck. It was 5 o'clock in the morning. We were starving, and I'm a privileged little kid that probably could have went home. Can you imagine the desperation of a dad or someone who has an addiction or someone who just is down on their luck and thinks, fuck this cunt.
Yep.
You know, I
Dude.
just need to do this, man.
I've
We've been there.
lived in a house where I had no power.
Mm-hmm.
I had to borrow my neighbour's power to
Yep.
clean just so I could get my bond back.
Yeah.
I know, like, I might be okay now, but I've worked for now.
Yeah.
I've
And
been in a
that's-
position of struggle. I've
And
been
Reece,
in a
that's why-
position of...
That's why I
Of-
used you as a bit of an example in that regard. You know, like
I've lived in a house where I'm raising a child and I have no electricity.
Mm.
I've been there. And I don't regret life that I've chose. I've experienced some things that people would never experience.
But isn't there only so much of that you've chose, Reese? Don't you think that because of the way
the system
we've
is
laid out
developed.
society, you
Yep.
didn't choose that. You didn't say, you know, this is the way I've chosen.
I mean, I guess if you want to look at it as a whole,
Mm-hmm.
sure. But
Well, we have to, yeah.
I chose the way that I lived because I didn't. I've always gone. This is the way that I wanted to live, but I've paid for those things. I've been in that position where I've had those situations.
And this is what I mean, mate, when I say, you know, people get desperate. And in those situations where they don't even have that situation. So I remember at the time that you're talking about.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it was
exactly,
and it was
You
extremely.
you were very prevalent in those.
I was
those
yeah,
times.
man, I was there, and you know, it was hard seeing what you could have been and where you were, and it wasn't looking down on you by any stance. It was just how much effort you had put in, and it was indicative of what we're talking about tonight. You know, you'd busted your ass and you were still sitting there with nothing. So when I rocked up that day and you was just like, we got to use power from next door to clean this place, I was like, bro, I didn't know it was this bad. Like, what
That's
do you
a time
fucking
of
say?
my life, man.
I know it's, man, and you know, seeing that from when we were kids to growing up to that point, it was like, holy fuck, man! Like, I wish I had known. Why didn't you say anything? They were my questions. But to where you are now, but it's exactly the point that I'm making. Where
But
you're
even in that, he was lucky.
He was.
You know, we're all still so lucky compared to some fucking
and
crazy parts of the world. We live in one of the best fucking easiest countries to live in.
Yep.
And it's still hard.
but it was
still hard.
that was a turning point. So Reece
still
could have easily turned to the situation I'm talking about now, which happened last night, to crime and robbing people and doing things that are hurting other people, and it's just sheer desperation. And as I was referring to back to Batman, like it was a very serious message that's portrayed throughout, not just this recent movie, but other series, you know, about people struggling and having that beacon of light being, say, the Batman, as opposed like to guide them forward. So, but given how drunk Reece is, and we've discussed
I'm sober, bro.
massively.
I don't know what you're
I'm loving the fact that you're enjoying yourself. I do. I love the fact that we all get together once a week. and
I
fucking
like.
do
Do you know what?
drinks.
I love the fact that we've been talking for over 3.5 hours. We don't even have to try anymore.
It's piss time, guys. What are we doing?
No,
It's
we're
definitely
going.
piss.
Are we piss breaking or are we ending?
We're-
No,
we're
I reckon
ending.
we're ending.
We're ending.
We're
Here we
ending.
go. Reece,
Reece,
So-
take us out for the cheers.
All in all, we're gonna. Oh, hang on.
you right, mate? You want me to?
No. All in all, we're gonna cheers to Colin.
Yeah.
That's what we're gonna do.
All right. Look,
But I think we all need to take on board the the message that Batman says that's a bad word. The message that Batman portrays. Stop. Dave, I can see your judgment from here. Maybe you
just say his message. Here, the message from the Batman we can take is...
Yes. Is?
No, but you were going to say...
All
right, the message we can take is treat everyone well,
Yeah.
be well, and be nice.
Exactly.
And that's the message we portray here on Fireside Yarns. We just want the best of everyone. We want you all to be happy. We want you to be loved. If anybody's struggling, get in touch with us because we can point you in the direction. We don't portray.
If you need a hand or the white hand of Sauron, as Vinno's got on him.
No, this is a white hand. Is
that a Lord of the Rings shirt? Is that a Sauron?
No, this is a
Sauron shirt.
So this is the recent or the newest Cronulla Sharks Indigenous jersey.
ScoMo's team. ScoMo's team.
Oh, don't say that.
ScoMo's team. ScoMo's team. Go the doggies.
That was my grandfather's.
Woo! Yes! Thank you! Up you fucking doggies!
Anyway.
Marco Mealy, Steve
I'll give you the
Price,
hot
Luke
tip.
Perry. Fucking... Oh, go on.
I'm number one. I'm equal first in my tipping competition.
I need to piss.
Yeah.
Come on, lads.
Look, okay, so... Look, the message...
My foreskin's holding it in now.
Yeah, he's ballooning.
I don't know what you're talking
I've tied it
about.
up. I've tied the tip.
Look,
I don't have one of those.
I don't have one of those full penises.
At the end of the day, guys, if you need help, if you want to reach out and speak to us, if you're struggling, please do. We're not the beacon of light. We are not all the all-knowing.
Don't be the Riddler.
But,
Don't
you know,
be the Joker.
we know plenty of people that
If
can
you
probably
feel
help.
like you should have been aborted, talk to me. Because I'm here for it. 'Cause
Anyway.
I feel the same.
Hey.
Welcome. Thanks for another episode of Fireside Yarns.
We can't end another one.
Don't
with a
cut me
buzz.
off. I'm hosting.
Episode
Right.
7.
No.
Six.
Give Reese. Reese's finishing it.
I know he is.
Put your glass down. Reese's gonna tell us to raise a
It's
glass.
six.
Here we go.
right?
Here we go. No, 7.
It's
7.
six.
It's
7?
Fucking
Seven.
hell. It's 7, Reese.
Oh, shit. 7.
Get
One
us to
more.
raise that glass.
One more than should have been born. Okay, cool.
Hey.
I respect you.
We love you all.
Cheers.
We love you all. Here's cheers.
Hey.
Fucking hell.